Hello everyone, and welcome to Style Esports. We have a quick battle coming at you on this Wednesday night in the Frejlord group. TG Ezreal looking to take on Dark Matter as we head into Pro Draft. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the game, I am your play-by-play caster for the night, Necrox. Joining me on the virtually socially distanced desk, Diane Atropa. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to cover both these teams as we get in tonight. Both of them, now that we've gotten a little bit further into Season 5 here at Style Esports, have had a few matches under their belt, have some history to work off of as we get to watch them in this match.
Yeah, I am super excited as well. They are chomping at the bit to get into it. Pro Draft, we are flying through. Nunu, Morgana, Zoe, all banned away by TG Ezreal. On the other side of the coin, Azir, Ashe, and Volibear banned away by Dark Matter. First pick coming at you in less than 15 seconds as we're looking for this match up tonight. Any key highlights we should keep our eyes out on for tonight, Dia?
I definitely think that it bears mentioning, as the Caitlyn is going to be locked in for TG Ezreal, that every single one of these bans, for people that haven't managed to see these teams before, is targeted at a specific player. UGFL, obviously, amazing on the Morgana, and you can really assign... You can figure out where all these bans have been going just based on what roles they are, with the exception that Misty banning out the Volibear against Steel Assault is really a huge target ban against this player. It's been something that we've seen them play not only in Style Esports but in their own solo queue games quite a bit. And here's the Senna lock-in, the champion that's sort of slipped through the cracks here, as Dr. Nasus has been playing these really far back, very supportive lanes with things like not only the Senna but the Kog'Maw, and having the Zac locked in with that as well is going to be what I will call a strong stylistic start to the draft by Dark Matter.
Yeah, and Senna did recently get nerfed, so we have to keep that in mind, that her soul rate for minions that she kills, that she gets the CS score that she last hits, was cut in half. So that delays her scaling, delaying that extra attack range, the damage that she can get, the critical strike chance as well. So yes, the champion's weaker, but again, stylistically, I think it's a good choice here for Dr. Nasus. On the other side here, TG Ezreal opt in for the Olaf and set to very strong early game duelists.
And this is really a capitalization right on the Zac that we see locked in for the Dark Matter squad, because early picking a jungler that is, I want to say, as situational as the Zac is really able to be punished by somebody who's a very strong laner like the Olaf. I like the Kennen lock in here as well. Chase in the top lane is going to be the obviously top laner for Dark Matter squad, and I saw him pop off last week, or last game that they played. Had some really good ability to sort of turn fights, and that's what Kennen is known for, right? He's going to be able to sit back in those team fights until his moment comes, and then completely turn around an entire game.
Yeah, and to me, Dark Matter have drafted very front-heavy style team comp, and by that I mean Zac, once he uses his abilities, he's pretty much out of the fight. Same thing with Kennen. Once the Slicing Maelstrom comes out, that's basically all he's going to provide, other than a few occasional stuns. That's the exact opposite of the way Senna wants to play, right? She's very overtime, DPS overtime style champion, with her Q coming back up every time she auto attacks. It reduces 1 second off that cooldown. So we'll see if they are just going to lean into this front heavy style even more, or whether they're going to play towards the Senna's win condition, which is wait it out, let the fights take a long time to scale up. And now we get to see the Kog'Maw locked in. That leads me to believe this Kog'Maw is going bot with Dr. Nasus, and Zygo will be picking up the Senna.
Yeah, AP Kog'Maw still is very prevalent, at least in the mid lane, can be picked up. And so I like the flex pick that we've left ourselves open with here for Dark Matter squad, being able to have the liberty of moving Kog'Maw into the bot lane if they so feel. And as we mentioned, Senna AD carry is a little bit weaker. Certainly going to be feeling a lot better if she is in the support position next to the Kog'Maw. Veigar going to be locked in for the mid lane, we can only assume here, for TG Ezreal. There is an off chance that we see a Veigar support, but I'm not... I would sincerely doubt it. I feel like that's very much more of a solo queue look.
Yeah, Veigar support, not known for his team-oriented play. Yes, that cage is so valuable, but when you're the one that has to last hit minions with Qs, you can take away that farm from your AD carry, and that's never looking good. As I say that, though, we get Syndra. So things are looking a little interesting in this draft for TG Ezreal. We'll see how Dark Matter wants to round out their last pick of this game. Remember, this pick is so important because it gets to counterpick not only the lane that they want, but it's also going to counterpick the entire team and round out their draft altogether. Dark Matter, what do you have in store for us? It is Vel'Koz that is locked in. That leads me to believe Vel'Koz mid, Kog'Maw AD, Senna support, but now it's your job to break down this Ezreal's draft.
Yeah, and I think that because we don't know exactly where any of these champions are going yet, there's a very untraditional pairing, obviously, of something like the Veigar and the Syndra. I think that it bears more mentioning how these team comps will want to play out, because that won't actually change that much based on what the actual lane assignments are. And once we figure out what they are, we can sort of start to break that down. But TG Ezreal, at least, have drafted themselves what is a pretty traditional composition in terms of front to back, but that is rather sustained damage heavy. There's not a whole lot of burst, not a whole lot of pick outside of something like the Syndra and the Veigar. They're very much a control team fight. And Dark Matter, on the other hand, are going to have sort of that long-range pick potential, especially when we start thinking about Ken and Zac combinations, even with Senna and Kog'Maw being able to back you up with that damage from afar.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, right? And the key pieces for me, especially because we do not know yet where Veigar and Syndra are going, I want to look at Caitlyn and Olaf this game, right? You're going to see, B1 Caitlyn, such a strong champion. Yes, she got nerfed. She's still the premier marksman of the game right now, maybe other than Ashe, which was banned away. So Caitlyn, when you pick up that champion, tells you so much about how your team wants to play. Caitlyn is so good in these sustained fights, landing traps, headshot after headshot. To me, I think you're absolutely spot on. Dark Matter are going to have a little bit of a rough time. If they can't get onto this Caitlyn, she's going to be able to DPS so much. You're going to have to hope that Kog'Maw gets to the point where he can scale up to be able to melt the front line, and then you can turn on Caitlyn. If not, I think Caitlyn's going to run over this game.
Yeah, she absolutely is going to have the potential to take over through the bot lane, and that's really what you see TG Ezreal drafting towards, because as much as they've found lanes that I think could go really well, potentially, especially when we talk about something like the Syndra, Caitlyn is really the only lane that they had priority in picking. With something like the set in being answered by the Kennen, I feel like Dark Matter actually have the more powerful lanes in almost everything but bot, and it's going to be Dr. Nasus and Zygomatic's job just to hold on against that Caitlyn that can be so oppressive until the later stages of the game, where the rest of the map that should be accumulating those advantages starts to be able to snowball.
Yeah, and we get actually to know now where these picks are beginning to go. Syndra will be belonging to the mid lane here. It will be Avatar Flame piloting that control mage. That means Veigar will be support. We were talking about how it's probably not the strongest pick. However, zone control is always very valuable. If you're just looking for a champion to keep your backline safe, aka Caitlyn and Syndra, who we were just talking about, then Veigar can do that for you just about as well as most other CC-oriented supports can. Yes, he's not going to have the incredible AP that he would if he was last seeing minions and getting all that gold, but I don't expect him to be doing DPS on this team. It's really just all about that cage, and can he keep this Zac under control along with the Kennen? If he can, I think that's way more value than something maybe like a Nautilus or a Leona could offer here.
Yeah, and especially when we start thinking about the access to the Caitlyn that you had mentioned being so key, with Dr. Nasus needing to scale to a point where we can start to see that become a real win condition. TG Ezreal, now that they have UGFL on this Veigar, is going to be able to provide so much safety. You mentioned the Zac interaction with Veigar cage, but it's not just that. It's also the fact that Kennen also can't walk through either. It's going to be very flash dependent to be able to follow up onto zero strikes. And it's going to be really Team Dark Matter squad looking for what I want to call perfect engages, but over and over again, because this Veigar with the support items, even though he doesn't have AP, is going to still have his cage on a very short cooldown.
Yeah, for sure, right? And there is a little bit of protection here for them when they begin to dance around these objectives, right? They don't need to pull the trigger right away. They have Kog'Maw living artillery, they have Senna long range poke, they have Vel'Koz poke as well. So even if they're not finding the perfect engages right then, right there, they still have the tools to begin to dance around objectives and poke out their opponents. On the other end, we can't really say the same. Yes, Syndra can, maybe land a Q or Caitlyn a couple auto attacks, but if both teams are dancing, I think Dark Matter has that upper hand just naturally around close quarters objectives. I think it's going to be kind of difficult here for Ezreal to find a good engage, right? They're not the team that wants to automatically pull the trigger. They don't have hard, easy landing CC, nothing like an Ash Arrow or a Nautilus Hook or anything like that. That's more about flanks with Set or, finding a quick pick with Olaf or Caitlyn Trap or a Cage. So I think they're going to have to set up pretty well for these objectives. If not, I think Dark Matter has drafted themselves into a winning condition here.
Yeah, they absolutely have and are going to be really, really scary in sieges. I'm curious as well if we see Dr. Nasus go for the AD Kog'Maw build, because last game, even though it would be beneficial to perhaps have a AD Kog'Maw, AP Kog'Maw has ended up being the choice for Dark Matter squad in the past, perhaps in situations where maybe Dr. Nasus just needs to feel a little bit safe. And against Set Olaf, you are going to be feeling like you have to play on the back foot. And it's going to be a matter of whether TG Ezreal can itemize appropriately to deal with the Kog'Maw, or whether we see what is, I want to say, an overwhelming amount of ability power coming out of Dark Matter squad. I feel like their win condition, though, while we're sort of talking about that, is going to be more of these team fights. And as weird as it sounds, when you have something like a Syndra and a Set, map pressure is going to be the name of the game for TG Ezreal. It's going to let them get these flanks off, let them get the vision control that they need.
Yeah, for sure. And side lanes are a good option for them as well. Kennen, yes, can be annoying in a side lane, but that is not his main prowess. It is these big slicing maelstroms across the team. Same thing with Vel'Koz. Doesn't really have the way clear to keep up with Syndra. We will see, though, how this game shakes out as we head into Summoner's Rift in below a minute now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back between our first game between TG Ezreal on blue side and Dark Matter Squad on red. We will be... Hello, and welcome back to Style Esports as both these teams fly out of their starting gates looking to draw their battle lines. TG Ezreal once again on blue side, Dark Matter squad on red. You can see the 5-point coming out from Ezreal, but it's not the same look here for Dark Matter squad. We'll see if we get any early action. Zero Strikes may be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the engage, flash away. Already one summoner down on the side of Ezreal. 80 carry, no flash.
Yeah, that was a really nice start there for Dark Matter Squad. Denying safety from Zero Strikes is actually going to pan out into what should be lane priority. You had mentioned the Comet being picked up by the Kog'Maw in this matchup. Doesn't want to interact with Caitlyn, and if Caitlyn can't safely step up, I expect that we see that lack of summoner spells translate into what is actually going to be a lot of safety for this Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and it will be AP Kog'Maw. I can only imagine the Comet being picked up along with Barrier tends, along with the Doran's Ring, matter of fact, tends to make me believe that this is an AP Kog'Maw build. Senna sort of fills in that gap for AD damage, but because she's going support, she's not going to have a lot of gold to work with, so they're really waiting for her to pick up those souls, waiting for her to scale up to make up for that lack of AD, because everyone else on this team is running AP, so the itemization here late game should come in pretty well for Ezreal, but of course you can't replace your core itemization with some magic resistance, or else you're going to be missing out on some key elements of your own kit.
Yeah, and now with the Senna being picked up here as well in the support role, as much as she won't have the gold, she will start to grab a few more of those souls, being enabled to trade much more, as we see her cancel just a few autos, which look kind of scary actually, waving her spear around, and Avatar. He's just going to be trading the mid lane, and this is kind of what we expect to see from both these mid laners, because obviously Syndra is going to be your local powerhouse in the mid lane, picking up the Ghost, as well as the Electrocute is going to be boasting a lot of mobility and damage, but with Barrier on Dr. Nasus and Yo-Yo Bro on the Kog'Maw and Vel'Koz respectively, I think that we're going to see a lot of a stall-out game until Dark Matter Squad are really forced to engage.
Yeah, and they want to get this critical itemization in. Kennen needs his Proto Belt before he becomes super useful. Same thing, Zach needs a couple bits of itemization so he just doesn't run in and die. Same thing with Kog'Maw, needs some ability power, but now we're going to look for an engage on the bot side. Here comes Zach with that stretching shrine, going to lock one in, but the cage is there. Dr. Nasus not able to follow up. Heal is used to get away, and that means 2 summoners down on Zero Strikes. Good leap in by Misty just to get that summoner burned.
And a very rare level 3 gank from Zach. We normally see him waiting for around that level 5 mark. Once he's managed to clear out a little bit more, it is going to cost him his Raptor camp towards the top side of the jungle, though, and maybe even his red buff, as Steel Assault is no slouch either, as much as he may not be as looking for those aggressive plays. I really like the capitalization here, and Olaf is going to be known for that early power. Zach dodges out on it by starting the gank off, but it means that he will lose some of the farm towards the top side.
Yeah, and something to note, Steel Assault did burn his flash. Not actually sure where that was, but his flash is on cooldown as he approaches the mid lane. Scout of the Week not going to do enough to keep Yo-Yo Bros in place for long. Can they turn it around? Barrier is up. First blood to Misty on the Zach we were talking about. He was making early game plays, and he picks himself up the earliest kill in the game.
And they don't respect the fact that not only is Barrier up, but the jungler is right there as they walk into the mid lane. Still level 3 is the Zac, but now is going to be able to secure the double scuttle for himself off of the back of a way too aggressive play from Steel Assault.
Yeah, and gets himself that red buff back, right? We were talking about it was stolen away, but thank you for the leash, I guess. Is no, you don't get the XP, but you do get the buff in the long run, and all that pressure towards bot side just didn't do enough, but the pressure and the turnaround in the mid lane ended up pulling it out for him as they get first blood. Your Zach now has a little bit more gold as he's looking for a play on the top side, feeling confident enough to try to take on a set in his own lane. Here we go. Where's the Haymaker? Going golden, knowing that W is at max charge. Both these players decide to retreat. Not too much to talk about or to write home about on that top lane gank.
No, I mean, ultimately doesn't end up resulting in any flash, teleport, whatnot. Does get a little favor that goes in the favor of Chase, but what's really impressing me is the proactivity that we see coming out of the Zac. Olaf may be looking to respond on the bot side as he is hanging around there, but it's really not a champion that we see often be proactive before. As I already mentioned, that level 5 mark, and the fact that Misty has actually had more impact on the game until this point than Steel Assault, and that Dark Matter Squad, a late game team, is ahead at this point, bodes very, very well for them.
Indeed it does, and not only do they have that early game gold advantage, we were talking earlier about both these teams and their standing in Style Esports. Last week, TG Ezreal, a complete domination show for them, having a 3-0 shutdown match as we see the Drake is secured, but now the mental warfare has begun for Ezreal. How do you manage to come off so strong in 1 week and then fall behind the next? So we'll see how they begin to play out this game. That being said, they do pick up themselves a nice first Drake, so that is something going in their favor, and diminishing that overall lead in map state as they get themselves a critical objective.
And this is really exactly what Olaf needs to do.
Oh, flash for flash. The cage is in, but the damage follow-up should not be there. Exhaust being burned, but they have the damage with the unleashed power. Vel'Koz standing still means the absolute combo is there, and Avatar Flame gets one back in the mid lane.
Yeah, and they push out the bot lane for TG Ezreal. They get themselves the dragon and a gank in the mid lane all before UGFL has to back it all. And it's really nice awareness from this team to be able to orchestrate something like that. And additionally, very little vision here from Dark Matter Squad. They backed without a lot of pressure in the mid.
Oh, you're in trouble now. He's going to stretching strike. No, gets pushed away by the scout of the week, but you're on the wrong side of the map. Please get executed. Can you do it? No, Misty takes the kill credit. Not even sure what hit him, but we'll take that one. 2-0 on this jelly blob of a jungler.
Now, interestingly, Zac just didn't need to hit him because he has the Bomby's Cinder on him.
True.
Standing next to the Syndrome. And unfortunately, though, did manage to deny the assist on Yo-Yo Bro and gets himself what we'll call a very quick back. Olaf now is going to pick up some waves in the mid lane, or at least the experience for such, get himself a little bit closer to that level 6, which is where we can start seeing Olaf really run through Dr. Nasus.
Yeah, and once he gets a bit more itemization, gets that call fields in, should be looking pretty strong, right? Can pop on that Ragnarok and run through a team in those early levels, and we can see him running into the mid lane now. The Chilling Smite's there. Yo-Yo's so weak. One more auto will do it, and Steel Assault. We were just talking about how he can show up at any point, and he shows up in the mid lane, trades one right back, and this has been the hot point of this game. The mid laners both feeling the pressure.
Yes, so much attention devoted to the mid lane this game, specifically by TG Ezreal. I really like the attention that they've been putting there, because Avatar, like we mentioned just before the game started, is really going to be a huge part of the win condition for this team. The side lane power of the Syndra, as well as, if you get her ahead, the team fight burst that can come out of this champion is going to be absolutely massive. It doesn't matter if you have barrier or not, if Syndra manages to get far enough ahead.
Yeah, right. You can just burn straight through that barrier, and along with the DPS coming out from everyone else, barrier's not going to keep you alive for long enough if you are locked up and inside that cage. And I think the only lane here that hasn't had enough action going on is topside, as Dolph and Chase have just sort of been duking it out CS wise. Chase has built himself up a significant 10 CS lead, but Kennen really happy to just, chill in this matchup and wait for these late game team fights to break out, as Slicing Maelstrom is so important, not only for this team comp, but just in general overall, because that ability is so dang good at team fighting, as we get to see Steel Assault on bot side, but shouldn't result in just too much as he walks over a control ward.
No, but that does mean that he is spotted towards the top side, and Zac not going to be able to do too much with that information. We may see a Rift Herald start as we have crested that 8-minute mark, and I'd expect to see some sort of capitalization from the fact that there is priority in these lanes. Yo-Yo Bro and Chase, as much as they've been, and this is at least Yo-Yo Bro has been dying, he has been pushing the wave and getting the mid lane priority that they would need to start an objective like this.
Yeah, and here we go. Maybe a slingshot into mid. They're going to fly forward. Directed camera takes us between the lanes, but now we're stuck on top lane for now. Dolph going to be stunned up under tower, and not too much occurring in either of his lanes. Zac 2-0. Yes, he's strong, but cannot DPS a target by himself, and Avatar Flame just gets to walk out for free. Slicing Maelstrom on the top side. Dolph maybe in a little bit of trouble. Takes one back with a showstopper. Brings in the Haymaker. Where is it? Dolph going so low. There it is. Down to about 25% HP. The slingshot's in. Flash away from Dolph, trying to get himself out of this one. Stretching Strike is there. And let's bounce, baby. Chase picks himself up. A kill on the top side. Puts the action everywhere on this map now. 2-3 across the scoreboard.
And that is the top pressure that we were looking for. They're going to be able to convert this into a Rift Herald if they want it. Syndra also being forced to back now. Vel'Koz has been able to show back up in the lane with the Lost Chapter, and will be able to continue the perma push towards this side. And Steel Assault, he's found himself towards the bot side. We may see a trade of objectives here.
Yeah, trade wouldn't be bad here. Yes, you're giving up this Drake stacking. So that's not something you ever really want to do, but I think if you can get Rift Herald, put it down before the gold on that plating expires, then that may be worth, but they're not going to go for the trade. They're going to walk in. Avatar Flame going to stun up Misty on his way in. Can they steal this one away? No, they cannot. The cage comes down, zones the team away, and they secure that one nice and easy. Second Drake now secured by Ezreal, and it will be a Cloud Soul on Summoner's Rift.
And that's really, really scary for Dark Matter Squad. The fact that they've lost 2 dragons now and didn't make the objective trade, yes, it is a trade down, but a trade down is still one that you want to take, right? Something that we want to see out of teams when they do start falling behind, like we've seen them, like we've seen Dark Matter Squad lose tempo, is their ability to stay in it, keep their heads level, and lose the minimum at every point. But the fact is that they don't lose the minimum. They lose what I'll call not the maximum, but what is somewhere in sort of that 70% mark. They give over an objective, they give over a vision on Zac, and even a few recalls on their team for net 0.
Yeah, and Caitlyn will have to net herself away out of that one as she's snared up. But now the re-engage is fantastic. A double stun, and it's a flash away from Zygo. They want to commit to this one. Unstoppable goes Olaf. There goes the ace in the hole. Going to hit the wrong target. But that point-and-click Veigar ultimate does not miss. And they find themselves a kill on the bot side. A wonderful cage to set it all up from UGFL.
And he's been looking really, really good on this Veigar support. Haymaker just keeps him top side.
Slicing Maelstrom. Dolph maybe in a little bit of trouble. Haymaker not on a cooldown, finding himself chunked to about 25% HP, but gets back under the tower, stunned up once more. You can see how this matchup is not fun for Set, and he still takes some punishment, and he's ticking lower and lower. No jungler here just quite yet, but you can see Misty already on his way up.
And previously at different points of the lane, we had Doran's shield and set passive doing a lot of work, but it's not quite enough against Chase, who, like you mentioned, is almost at that item breakpoint. Here's the gank.
Here we go. Dolph under tower. Can they make the dive successful? Yes, they can. Here is Steel. Will he trade it back? The flash into the blast cone takes Misty away to safety. Steel Assault not able to find the last undertow. Still chasing. Gets into the cloud speed. I'm not sure why Misty is walking back at this point, but opts to, dance around for a little longer. Are they looking for the re-engage now? Yes, they are stunned up. Misty, I'm pretty sure that's considered trolling, but the passive is there. They can't find Avatar just quite yet. Trying to walk himself away. The unleashed power going forward. There's a barrier. Trying to get under tower. No, under toe will land. No goes golden into the stasis. Trying to keep himself alive. Flash away from the scout of the week. Now under tower. Avatar goes down. They find a great play in the mid lane, and that is simply outplayed by Yo-Yo Bro. A wonderful play. There goes the Dawning Shadow. Put in the cage, trying to keep himself alive with the AD carry. Forced away so low. Not able to make that one happen. A great living artillery. The mana is there to continue the strikes. They opt to back away for now, but they will pressure the turrets and fighting all across the board here, Dia. And it's a great play in the mid lane.
Finally, a massive play from Dark Matter Squad. The fact that Misty knows that he still has his passive up, goes in on that play, knowing that Yo-Yo Bro is going to be able to chunk down enough damage. Dolph isn't in the top lane, and Chase is able to roam down. Nets them a massive advantage. Now it's about a 3k gold lead at that 14-minute mark. It's not game-ending, but in the top lane, we're seeing even more trading. Chase is running this lane right now. Can capitalize.
I'm not sure what Dolph is doing this far up, but he's gonna be punished. Dolph, no haymaker available. Facebreaker misses. Chase is on a rampage. And this is a Dark Matter squad we wanted to see. Rift Herald be popped on the top side. And man, oh man, are they looking good in this mid game as we tick over to just 15 minutes. And we will see our first tower just like that. And Misty gets himself the first piece towards that Nexus. As looking good now for Dark Matter, and TG Ezreal need to find a way back into this game.
Yeah, topside being liberated is really, really big, especially because we have just a minute on this Drake. We should be able to see Chase roam down unanswered towards this Dragon. Dolph, no TP available either. Should mean the Dark Matter squad can finally convert the investment of the topside towards other objectives, and that's what they need to do in order to, I want to say, play this lead appropriately.
Yeah, we'll walk yourself out of the cannon, or excuse me, out of the cage, as the Drake will be up in 20 seconds. Yes, this is a very critical Drake for both of these teams to secure. Soul point to the favor of TG Ezreal if they do secure this one, so that could be their win condition now, but it's certainly gold value, team fight value. This should be going the way of Dark Matter if that Slicing Maelstrom is available. It's such a key cooldown. And we'll see if they want to stall out for a little longer. Get some wave priority first, and now they're making the play on the mid lane. Under tower is Chase, almost out of the week to death. Avatar lives as well.
They have forced the mid laner off of this wave, but Chase is quite low himself, has the teleport to answer. Dolph as well should just be taking over on that cooldown. If TG Ezreal want to contest this objective, it is going to be an all-out brawl, but it looks like with Olaf rotating up to the top side, they recognize that right now, play isn't in their favor. The item spikes just are not there. Protobelt coming in for that cannon, which is really the item that you had talked about as being the one that unlocks Dark Matter squad moving onto the map. Doesn't really translate into TG Ezreal wanting to fight. They want to fight when they're strong.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. They haven't hit critical pieces of itemization just quite yet. Set still sitting on 0 completed items, so we're waiting on most of these members to complete a key piece. That being said, Kennen has Protobelt 4-0, and it was just Avatar being chunked out mid that allowed them to make that play onto Drake. However, it's not all lost for TG Ezreal. 20 minutes is not the end of the world for them. It's not like the scaling is completely kicked in at that point. That's more 30, 35 minutes in, where it's probably just uncontested at that point. But smart call there not to go for the Drake. Still waiting on some key pieces, and Ace in the Hole barrier used by Nasus, and he was very high HP.
Yeah, I think it was just to maybe deny a little bit of that damage. It ends up just losing the cooldown anyway, but it shouldn't really influence how the bot lane has been going. Dr. Nasus is at a point where he has the mana sustain to continue to shove in these waves and to continue to harass from a distance, which is where the power of the AP Kog'Maw really shows up. It's not in those damage numbers, because they do start to come in eventually, but it's in the amount of safety that this champion has.
Yeah, and it's just like playing into any mage in the bot lane. It's not fun when they can just spam spells on cooldown, and you're like, why am I stuck under a turret? I'm the one with strong auto attacks, right? It seems almost unfair. Sad for Misty, he will be sitting on a ward here. Not sure if he is aware. Still looking for the slingshot in anyway. Will find himself preemptively caged away. It's certainly going to give away that they're sitting on some vision now, so that play will be called off, and even Steel Assault warming down to make sure that play fizzled out without any blood spilled. That being said, a solid 4K gold lead now to the favor of Dark Matter. We'll see what they can do with it as the map pressure continues to increase. As we can see Chase looking to push out top wave, looking to get some control over vision. Everyone on this team willing to rotate around the map and push some more of these turrets and waves in.
And I like that. It's really going to be a matter of scaling right now for Dark Matter Squad, but TG Ezreal aren't feeling bad about it either. If we actually look at the itemizations, we see that the losing set has pivoted right up into a Spirit's Visage here, and Olaf already with the Spectre's Cowl under his belt as well. Magic Resist is the name of the game, and TG Ezreal have identified this now that we've gotten the chance to see how the builds are developing for Dark Matter Squad. And as much as the scaling is going to be there for Dark Matter Squad, it's a matter of mitigation of that power right now for TG Ezreal. Steel Assault has roamed down to the bot side, though. They might be looking to make something happen. An ambitious gank, perhaps, means that Zac is able to invade towards the top side, where Dolph is ready and waiting.
And that is all about prep work, Dia. I mean, we were talking about how this team was trying to prepare for objectives earlier, but you have to remember to set up vision for ganks. You can't just assume that they're sitting blindly in a lane, as Dolph finds himself on the receiving end of a way heavier trade than he was anticipating. Has to flash under a turret. Chase is going to follow. At best, it's a trade, but at worst, you lose the shutdown. They lose 2 across the map. Yo-Yo Bros dying on the river. And here we go. It's going to be a 3-0, as this is disaster now for this Dark Matter squad, trying to find himself a way out of this one. Misty in so much trouble, growing smaller and smaller, stunned out of the slingshot. That's just embarrassing. Ace in the hole will finish him off, goes into the passive. Who will they donate this one to? Should be the Caitlyn or the Syndra. They'll give the shutdown to the Caitlyn, 300 gold in their pocket, and 3 kills to nothing for the favor of TG Ezreal.
And for a game that we saw going so much in the favor of Dark Matter squad in terms of the tempo is suddenly really, really turned around. They don't respect the fact that they haven't seen the Haymaker cooldown come out of the set yet. They overdive in the top side, lose what is every single shutdown on their team, as well as the Vel'Koz is realistically sitting at 0-3. But our I want to say shut down not only in the literal sense, but in the this is a play that we want to make. This is a part of the map that we feel powerful. They lose that, and now with the dragon spawning, could look to be punished around it even more. Chase doesn't want to see that happen, though.
Here we go. Steel Assault Ragnarok on cooldown, loses his life 20 seconds before Drake spawns. And not only is that prio, but that's almost certainly the entire Drake gone before Steel Assault can get there. They're trying to make another play on mid. Slicing Maelstrom not available for this one, so no follow-up from the Vel'Koz available, but they're just looking to push out this mid wave in reality, trying to get that priority in, and Avatar trying to trade 1-for-1, but it's a great Zanya's by Chase, getting himself free of that unleashed power, and Avatar finds himself going down, but Yo-Yo Bro's locked up in the cage, 0 strikes put in the auto attacks over the wall, and now it's an all-out fiesta for the Dragon. The showstopper comes in, Dolph trying to keep himself alive with the Haymaker, down to about half HP, TP's committed by Chase, now the fight's begun, 0 strikes finds the enemy support with the center, that's all their AD damage gone, the Spirit Visage is so useful here for Dolph. Chase trying to chase down the AD carry, but Dolph's on the front line, tanking this one up for the team. The heals in from 0. It's a 3v3. In goes the slingshot. Nasus has to flash away, but the Olaf's unstoppable. Meanwhile, in the back end of the fight, it's a 1-for-1. Now it's Let's Bounce used on the Dolph. Can they find the enemy AD carry? It's artillery barrage coming in from this Kog'Maw. Slingshots himself away to safety. They can't track him down, but the fiesta turns into a free soul point for TG Ezreal. They turn this game right back around.
Yo, no, dude. You walked straight into absolutely no vision, gets caged in by the Vagar and taken down, meaning that they have really no zone control to speak of for Dark Matter squad. They give over Soul Point ultimately, and they find themselves a pick on the jungler and the mid laner, but it doesn't matter if we can't start to convert that into objectives. And now, although the gold is still in their favor, the game is slipping away from them.
The game is slipping away. The gold lead is slipping away. Everything seems to be not going right now. You have to wait for the scaling to come in now. You're losing team fights. You're losing objectives. They're on Soul Point. 4.5 minutes until this game just may be decided over this next dragon. You can't afford to give anything else away. You have to hold on to this game. You have to keep what you have in a lead, if not extend it, but you're waiting on that dirty S word scaling to come in your favor, but they're trying to make a play on the top side. If this play gets turned around, it spells doom, but no one's coming up to help Dolph. He's left on an island. It's top lane, man. There's nothing you can do. 2v1. No one's coming to help you. How long can you survive? Not able to trade one back this time. Chase slays Dolph on the top side, and they finally find a play after all those attempts on top side.
And they can start to convert this into topside control, maybe that tier 2 that is on its last legs after the Rift Herald play, and finally start to get those objectives ticking over for themselves. But we had talked about scaling for Dark Matter squad. In fact, it's one of the only things that we talk about. And actually a kill in the bottom. Dr. Nuts is quite strong right now.
Yeah, Vagar's throwing out the ghosties, trying to slow down the engage, but yeah, you could tell Zero is panicking, trying to dodge left and right, dodging living artillery. Good thing UGFL was there with the slows to begin to slow down that engage. literally and figuratively, as Cage will be thrown down again, just trying to zone away this duo, Dr. Nasus and Zygo, looking really strong on this bot side for it only being 24 and nearly 25 minutes in.
Watch the Synders roaming down, and we may actually see them get shut down here. No vision in the river for Dark Matter Squad means that this Synders one-shot potential is really potentially unlocked.
Oh, what is that damage from the start of the week? Zygo, you are the weak, my friend.
Oh my lord, it literally not even ultimate committed to that play. Again, no vision in the river means that Dark Matter Squad cannot respond to that until it is too late. UGFL, nice flash Cage, gets the flash out of Zygomatic, and they can translate that into a little bit of pressure. It's really more of a pressure relief, though, as they've already lost destruction on the top side. The gold injection into Cinder is going to be nice, but that's all it is.
Yeah, gold injection and a flash, to be fair, off of Zygo. So Senna not having flash may be a little bit easier to engage upon, but there's so many more threats that you need to worry about than this support Senna. Gold injection, play on bot side, yada yada. It's not the end of the world. What is the end of the world, though, most likely for this team, is an Olaf and a set with Cloud Soul. So you really don't want to give that away. You need to start setting up vision. You need to do the preemptive work. And now they may be caught out. Here goes Misty into the team with the less bounce 3-man. Let's bounce 3-man. Velkai's UTFL is going to go down before the fight even starts. Here we go. They've lost their bot lane in its entirety. Double kill to Zygo. Drake's up in 90 seconds, so it's not too bad, but you can't be setting up vision like that before a critical objective.
No way. Oh, huge overextension from TG Ezreal. They have no vision. Again, story of the game is vision right now on Yo-Yo, bro. He just walks up on the flank, and even though it is a Zanya's Glacial first Vel'Koz, not the traditional smackaroo that we see, still has an incredible amount of true damage when he manages to use that ult correctly, and Chase might be in a little bit of trouble. This guy's up the wall.
It's a good scout of the week. Goes Golden trying to buy your time, but you're only buying time until your death, my friend. And 46 seconds on his timer, 57 on the Drake means he will be available. We'll have TP up as well, so not the end of the world. They did get the ghost off of Syndra, but even more gold going in the favor of TG Ezreal this time around. And it just seems to be that the early game wasn't enough for TDMS to make the plays here. And we'll see if they can have control over this Cloud Soul, or if another team fight will just slip away from them.
And we've seen so much gold flip-flop back and forth. Honestly, right now, the power is in anyone's hand because the throws are persistent this game. There's a lot of back and forth over extensions. Call it what you will from the top side of the map, because they are attempts at plays, but it is going to be a matter of really who walks into zero vision first, who looks for that kill. And right now, Dolph, he's sitting in 100% vision. Sees Yo-Yo, bro.
Yeah, Dolph sitting there, nice and quaint in his little pixel brush.
Ooh, nice teleport flank, though.
Oh, gets caught out by the cage. That may be big. Zygo's dead before the fight starts, but now on the backside, the enemy AD carry has gone down to a great TP slicing Maelstrom. We'll see if that fight makes a difference in the main one. As in goes Showstopper. Mixie is trying to make the difference. Vel'Koz ulti gonna zone the team away. Dolph going head first into danger, trying to be the hero for his team. Can't be it this time around. Misty's trying to make the plays. 1v3, stays alive, and they found the fight. It's all TDMS from here. They're gonna stun up Steel Assault, trying to get himself away, but the zone is in, and they secure the Drake. It's an ace for TDMS. Ezreal all on the gray screen. They stop the Soul from going through. A big team fight win.
And it is that exact same tunnel vision that we talked about. We see UGFL be able to catch out with the cage, but it is at the cost of Chase being able to completely zone out the AD carry. Zero Strikes had no way to participate in that fight because Kennen was on top of him the entire time. Beautiful teleport flank into that into the tri-brush towards the bot side means that he gets to delete the carry and then slowly but surely sandwich his way in onto TG Ezreal, who have found themselves without any damage to speak of. Gonna need to get away from these ghosts, but for Kennen, that's really ridiculous that he gets a move speed boost that is so ridiculously insane.
Yeah, that's he's a speedy boy, right? And the speed definitely came in handy in that last team fight. We were talking about how important that TP slicing Maelstrom was. Is I don't even get the time to talk about the last fight. As Zygo's dead. All right, now back to the last team fight. Zygo caught out in a we'll say an overextended spot. To be fair. And yeah, that TP slicing Maelstrom in the last fight was so important. Caitlyn not even able to do anything. And now we're going to see Chase being locked up. Man, everyone just wants to get caught out this game. And Zero Strikes will pick up the kill credit. They obviously don't want us talking about that last fight, as they're just ready to wipe a couple members off the board.
No, right? This is, again, more of the overextensions that we saw, and it might actually convert into a mid lane tower, but Vel'Koz has the ability to wave clear quite well, similar, to a lot of these picks like a Nivea Victor that can stall out even losing games. So I like the fact that it's picked up here, but it looks like Baron is going to be the turn. Avatar Flame feels confident enough to walk into
goes away from the engage. Now it's on. Misty's in the middle of the squad. It's a 4-man let's bounce. Takes him right back in with a showstopper, but Vel'Koz putting out the DPS from the back line. Yo-Yo popping the barrier, trying to get himself to safety. Misty now going to be on the front line for his team. Zygo's putting out the DPS. One more auto does it onto Steel Assault. Jungler dead means no Baron for you. Their turnaround is here. Misty needs one auto to do it. He does it. He flashes for it. Zero goes down once again. And now it's going to be TDMS that start up Baron.
And that is absolutely huge. I mean, we've said it back and forth all game because it feels like we have so many ways in, and as much as Yo-Yo Bro doesn't manage to do the final damage, it is Nasus and Zygomatic join the fight, ultimately being able to put in that AP chip damage that seals the deal for Dark Matter Squad. They get themselves the Baron. We should finally be able to see them push as 5 and get something done here.
Yeah, it seems to be like that was the flashpoint of this game. Maybe a greedy call from TGE to try to start up the Baron. They didn't have enough to keep away Misty, and man, oh man, it's a punishing call in the end. Not only do you lose Baron, you lose so much map pressure, you lose so much vision control. It's not just the golden flux, it's everything that comes along with it. And now it seems to me that the game may just be sealed. The scaling is beginning to kick in now. Dr. Nasus is sitting on 3 items, Senna hitting a critical point in itemization, completing her second piece of lethality. Now we get 3 items on Chase as well with the Spellbinder. It seems to me, Dia, that this game may just be locked up.
I see exactly where you're coming from. I'm hedging my bets, though, because we have seen quite a lot of mispositioning from the carries here. And as much as Yo-Yo Bro has found himself a really nice spot for the last 2 fights, Chase being caught out so easily is going to be really, really massive for this team. And Avatar Flame has the ability to take out Dr. Nasus or Zygomatic if they do get caught out and misposition. The idea here is that Dark Matter Squad are able to roam as 5. If they do that, I agree. It is game over, and there isn't really a lot of way for TG Ezreal to come back into this. But if we see Dark Matter Squad not playing together and going towards their tendencies for the rest of this series, I think that we actually see this be turned around pretty easily.
Yeah, we'll see. Dolph's gonna flash in, trying to turn this one around nice and early. Showstopper, not gonna land in the cage. It's the flash away from Yo-Yo Bros, and they turn it right back around. Dr. Nasus is unstoppable on this AP Cogmon. You can tell they're desperate now. They want to make the plays. They want to turn this game around. Can they do it? Stunned up, trying to disengage for the squad. UGFL does well to keep away Misty's engage, but man, it's a Baron enhanced siege and mismatch onto the bot lane here. Chase does not win this 1v1, surprisingly, unless he gets that flash engage. And now they're going to try to pull the trigger onto the mid lane. Ghosties go in with the Dawning Shadow. Avatar's going low. Doctor, it's one shot with the Living Artillery does it. Makes it a dead Senna. Now they're going to pull the trigger onto Steel Assault. Goes unstoppable. So much DPS. Has to flash away from it. 2 members down here for TGE. Is this the game-ending push? Do they want to end it all now? It's a flash heal from Zero away from the engage from Misty. He's been so good pulling the trigger with these slingshots. UGFL throwing the ghosties. More slows coming in from Yo-Yo. They back away for now, but they retreat to Cloud Drake, stopping the soul once again.
Dark Matter Squad absolutely could have ended the game there, Necrox. You hit the nail on the head. Again, if they continue to play like this, we saw Dolph going for it into absolutely no vision, and Avatar can't walk through Misty. As much as we talk about him being able to one-shot Dr. Nasus, Zygo, Yo-Yo, and maybe even Chase situationally, Misty is not on that list. He is a full tank, Zach, with 3, 4, almost 5 completed items here, and there's no opportunity for Syndra to be able to actually involve herself in that fight. Even gets zoned out of returning to her own base and costs herself her life in the end. And it's the damage, that very same damage that we talked about as being the win condition for TG Ezreal.
Yeah, and Banshee's Veil only does so much, right? Yes, it stops the initial knockup from Misty, but he's got so much more CC to offer that it doesn't truly give you that much, right? You're hoping that it stops the initial engage, that you can get away somehow, but between Slicing Maelstrom, Living Artillery, there's so many things that can take away that spell shield. It just doesn't seem to be a critical piece of itemization for this Syndra. And we're talking about how she has the potential to blow someone up. Caitlyn's now on 3, I guess you could call it 4 items, because she has 2 half pieces working on her way to Mortal Reminder. She's pretty dang close, and she now becomes a win condition for this team. But when you have Kog'Maw Senna, it doesn't get much harder scaling than that.
It really doesn't. I mean, Kog'Maw obviously has gone the AP route. Isn't going to be the same tank shredder. I don't honestly think he dies here. Yeah, he's going to be forced, or I guess suggested to burn the flash. I think it's totally safe, because that guy is very, very tanky, and there was not sufficient damage to burn through him. We have seen Dark Matter Squad just sort of killing time in the bot side, though. Not really any activity to speak of, but there's activity.
Okay, there's the Slicing Maelstrom onto the AD carry, and this is going to be the game-ending push. They're certainly going to get this one under a tower. They're walking, Zygo's tanking. Nope, has to flash away, but this is going to be game over. UGFL goes down. It's Yo-Yo that picks up the kill credit, and they do trade 2 back. Is that enough? It may just be maybe a little too greedy. But they end up getting a 4 for 2 in the end, still favorable. They'll pressure down this bot side tower, and Yo-Yo has to go gold, and they'll try to make the play onto Avatar onto the turret. Can they turn this one around? Avatar trying to kite his way away desperately, not going to be able to do it this time. Scout of the week, one more Q, one more auto. Leandri's burning, goes into the tower, and Dr. Nasus not too happy about that one, and it's an all-out fiesta now, Dia. Everyone's looking to fight. Everyone's looking to duke it out. And it's a 10 gold lead. It's not looking great.
No, I mean, while that fight goes on, the super minions are in the base as well. Yo-Yo, bro, he needs to be blocked here. I think he actually does go down to that potentially. But now they've been able to break open the base in a second spot. Baron is next on the menu, and the 5-on-5 is truly online for Dark Matter Squad. They dive horrifically into the tier 2 turret, and Syndra's just not able to involve herself through the barricade that is Misty. Trying to roam up there doesn't net them anything, and it should be, with this bot lane pressure that we've accrued, Chase pushing in the bot side, forcing somebody to answer him, while in the meantime Dark Matter Squad can take the Baron towards the top.
Yeah, they will begin to set up some vision control. You can see Chase opting to go in a little deeper, trying to get some sort of resemblance of control over the Baron pit before they just shut it up. UGFL trying to do the same thing, but obviously at a much weaker position in order to gain control over that vision. And you can see the pings now are coming in as both these squads begin to cheat towards this Baron pit. TGE are forced to this side of the map if they don't want to give that objective away. No vision on. There's actually one Farsight sitting on the back of the pit, but that doesn't matter for now. Slicing Maelstrom and a 1v3 locked in the cage. Unstoppable goes Olaf. They get a 1-for-1. Chase turns it around in the end. Gets a 1-for-1 trade in mid laner for top laner. That favors TGE, as they're the ones behind in this game. 1-for-1 trades are not bad at this point for them.
It's certainly not, and especially when it is your mid laner who, as we mentioned, is the source of damage this game. It means that Dark Matter Squad, they can just turn straight onto this Baron, with super minions now pushing into the base in 2 separate lanes. There's nothing that TG Ezreal can do to stop this going down. We may see Caitlyn try and poke her head in, but, I mean, if she does, she's dead.
Yeah, and will be 4 members of TDMS leaving wearing purple. 20 seconds on Cloud Soul for either of these teams. It's already 30% ult CDR for this TDMS squad, but here we go. The engage is going to be in from the cage. Misty's locked up. It goes in with the Let's Bounce. In goes Vel'Koz's ultimate over top. Unstoppable goes Olaf. Showstopper takes him to the carry. Dolph not able to complete that one. It's a 2-for-0 trade now. You need to be able to turn this one around or kite away until reinforcements arrive. But they can't get away from the stretching arms of this Zac. It's a TP into the base. Taken down is Chase. Dawning Shadow across the squad won't be doing enough to kill the 2 members remaining. Avatar Flame and Zero Strikes. 2v3 trying to defend their base, forced to give the inhib to the Baron Enhanced Siege. They're trying to end the game. You can see them cheating forward with this wave. This is it. Nexus turret number 2 at about 10% HP deleted is Zygo. It's a 2-on-2. Nasus and Misty playing safe, trying not to let themselves go down. Ghost is popped. They flash onto the AD carry and they find him. Misty's in trouble now in a 1v2. Pops Let's Bounce once more, goes into the passive, but an overextension from TDMS means they have a little more breathing room. TGE live to fight another day.
And not only do they live to fight another day, they could potentially take down this dragon, earn themselves the soul as well in the meantime. As much as they are down in, I want to say, every single statistic possible, the soul is the, I want to say, power boost that they could need to survive the next fight. It's going to be a gamble, though. Right now, Dark Matter squad have only really been dying because of misplays. This could be one such misplay, though.
Oh, here we go. Showstopper gets him into the backline. Chase pops the slicing Maelstrom, goes golden, finds the 80 carry once again. It seems like it's been a non-factor this game. Can they trade one back? They can. Steel Assault looking to get aggressive. Gets the enemy jungler. No, excuse me. That was the top laner. I'm not even sure who died, actually. Someone died. Yeah, top laner. Chase goes down in the end, and wow, they actually pick up Soul and take an even trade. So not the end of the world here for TG, as we're getting some signs of life 41 minutes into this game.
And it's been this way for most of the game, right? We see Dark Matter squad actually making proactive plays, doing quite well for themselves, and then suddenly they find themselves a horrific play, and Dolph, well, pretty horrific right now.
Speaking of horrific plays, I think you got that one right there, Diaz. Dolph just dies, puts himself at 1-9 on this set, and Ghosties go forward. Scout of the week, Yo-Yo Bros goes golden with his Zanyas, but will be traded at least, and gets himself a ticket back to the gray screen as Misty's here to reinforce the squad, acting as a front line. Gonna pull Avatar back in, gonna go down to the Dawning Shadow. Great snipe there by Zygo. Now they're looking to end the game once and for all. Good stretching arms, but Unstoppable goes all off into the Ragnarok, trying to face down the Senna. They get one. Can the trade go in favor of Steel Assault? Flash away, Misty's low. Not gonna be taken down just quite yet. Zygo's trying to kite his way away, gets the snare. One more undertow will do it. Slicing Maelstrom. Chase is here to save his enemy, or his Senna. And Misty's now autoing the Nexus. UGFL versus 1. But here comes 2, and here comes 3. Game number 1 is wrapped up in 42.5 minutes. It's TDMS that claim it.
That was an absolute banger of a game, Necrox, and that I don't think that we could have predicted that ending at any individual point, because the way that this game ended up going was so back and forth. Both of these teams showing huge chinks in the armor, where I feel like there's a word that I'm looking for when you train, the discipline not really being there in the setup, right? Because we saw TG Ezreal be able to take several Drakes really early on. This is expected when you have something like an Olaf, but it turned into Dark Matter squad being able to have an advantage to the top lane. Certainly what you expect. And from then on, the game sort of went in every single direction as Dark Matter was overforcing several times. Ezreal caught out without vision when they didn't expect it, and it really felt like this was a game of who would make the last mistake. And as we move into game 2, obviously Dark Matter squad have an idea of how they want to play the late game team fights, but it is everything else around that they need to improve if they want to take this series. And on the other side, TG Ezreal they have individually very strong players, but it is really that team play and team execution when it comes to the mid game that needs to be improved if they want to keep themselves in this series.
Yeah, we will see which team can get the better of this series. 43 minutes rounded was game number 1. If it's going to be that interesting, certainly game number 2 has some excitement to bring. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 2 between these two squads on Style Esports. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Style Esports. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we were experiencing. It seems to be that our voice communication software did not want to agree with either production or with the teams. So now that things have been situated and resolved, we are flying through picks and bans. I'm excited for game number 2. I've had a little bit of a break, had a little bit of a drink, ready for this to start back up. How are you feeling, Diatra?
I'm feeling equally excited, and even more excited now that I see the target bans come out based on game 1, because it means that some of the bans that we saw, obviously, taken away in the pro draft of the first game are going to be available, specifically Nunu and Zoe, which are both champions that can really bring a third element to a game.
Yeah, really, and we get to see Zach, Kennen both banned away, both very important picks here, at least last game for Dark Matter. Misty was doing so well on the Zach to get those engages off, and Kennen one-shotting that AD carry. It never gets old to watch, and Ezreal will be the first pick for Ezreal. How apt.
And Ezreal, I do like it for the team name synergy, but other than that, relatively unexpected pick here isn't that Caitlyn that we saw perform so well last game, and I mean, maybe going for a little bit of a different style here now that we have the Yone as well. But look at the Nunu and Willem, as well as the Zoe, both going to be locked in instantly for Dark Matter squad.
And Yone is in as well. This is going to be a fun one, guaranteed. A brand new champion coming in right off the bat. I like to see it. I think maybe that is almost certainly actually going to be going mid lane. They get that counter pick of Volibear is the new lock. A relatively strong flex between jungle and top lane.
Yeah, not Nunu. Yone and Zoe, though, because we assume that this Yone is going to be going into the mid lane. Also, very similar champions in a sort of unexpected way, with the fact that you do have to punish the portal that they will eventually go back to. So I think this will be a really interesting mid lane matchup to watch, and not one that I've gotten the chance to see too often, as you know, normally the Zoe is styling on somebody who's more mage-like, and this time is going to be have the potential to be outplayed and shut down by Yone, who brings a bunch of damage to the team. But speaking of damage, outside of the Zoe, we don't actually have that much picked up for Dark Matter squad. They've chosen to leave themselves the AD carry for the second round of picks.
Yeah, not too common strategy here. Typically, you want to get that AD carry right off the bat. Something to note here, Caitlyn banned away in the second phase. That is something that is almost unheard of for the past few weeks or months of League of Legends. Such a strong AD carry. Neither team opting to pick it up this time around. Ezreal had it open for B1, and then all the rest of the pick phase, it goes absolutely unheard of. We'll see what they want to pick up here. First pick here for this red side Dark Matter. We'll see what they want to grab. Something to note about this mid lane matchup, though, is Yone can cleanse Zoe Bubble. Did you know that, Diatra? With his Soul Unbound, if he goes back to his Soul Unbound while he's being slept, it actually cleanses the sleep.
Oh, that's fascinating. I haven't had the chance to see that interaction. No. Is that something you came across in a game, or is that just like...
Matter of fact, it is something my mid laner wanted to try out in scrims and absolutely inted trying to do it. So thank you to my mid laner for teaching me that it is possible, but very hard to do.
But at least he's brought us some power to this cast. Finally, a potential carry going to be picked up here for Dark Matter squad, but not quite enough damage, especially into something like a Mordekaiser right now. We're going to need to see a consistent source come out for Dark Matter squad. Granted, we do have the bot lane locked in now, so they know exactly what they're picking themselves into. They have the set that can be flexed to support. Do they do it, though?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
it feels like you have to, right?
Yeah, I don't... Not into Mordekaiser. No, they'll opt it for the top lane. I know you're a big fan of set support, so sadly we're not going to be able to see that one this game. I think it's just going to be the Nami lock in here we do. And that to me is a little upsetting, right? I don't like to see Senna as your main AD carry looking into a double tank composition with Volley and Mordekaiser. It seems very hard to kill them, especially when your mid laner is playing something like Zoe. So I think these tanks may be really hard to deal with, especially later into the game.
Yeah, this is certainly not a composition where you think that Senna and Zoe will specifically thrive because of just the amount of beef that is going to be placed in front of them. But Dark Matter squad, they also have some damage of their own, specifically with that Nunu and Set combination. I think that we can look to Set as strange as it sounds, to be more of a damage source come the mid game. I'd expect them to go for more of a split push build. Chase, obviously, no stranger to jungle attention from Misty, and I'd like to see sort of a repeat of game one in terms of the pathing here out of the Nunu and Willump, so that we can get at least I want to say more viable win condition on the board, because right now Dark Matter squad, the burden of execution is on them in order to make themselves, I want to say, be able to win this game, to open up an avenue back into what is otherwise a very compositional counter fundamentally to what Dark Matter squad have.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, it seems to be that way. We'll see how the game plays out. Just a brief reminder, because I know it has been a while, and if you're just now tuning in, last game, I think the best way to summarize it is fiesta, I would say, is a good word. And with how many kills and overextensions and things we saw, something to keep in mind here is that was a 43-minute game. That was a very long game, not only physically on the players, mentally as well. All of these players now are going into this next game with, to be fair, quite a long break in between. But you have to remember, losing that game after 43 minutes has to be so rough for Ezreal. You have to get your mentals reset and ready to play this next game, because if you come in with an ounce of weakness in your system, I can guarantee you Dark Matter are ready to jump on it.
And I think that that's exactly why we see a reversion to what I want to call more explosive, more lane dominant picks, because TG Ezreal, Mordekaiser into set, obviously going to feel very good. Things like Volibear in the jungle is a huge comfort pick for Steel Assault, and Yone Ezreal obviously going to be both safe and bringing quite a bit of damage. Yone maybe a little bit less on the safe side, but absolutely explosive at that 2-item mark. And I think that this is TG Ezreal saying, we don't want to see another one of these 40-minute games, because when you draft yourselves such early tools, such, I want to call it them almost mid-game tools that spike on these 1 to 2 items, you want to be able to take Dark Matter squad and shut them out as soon as you hit 20 minutes.
And that makes sense to me, right? The Bard with that Tempered Fate helps you set up picks with this Volibear and Yone. Those 2-item power spikes are going to come in really huge for TG Ezreal. On the other side of the coin, we're looking at Dark Matter, who has a little bit of finagling to do, right? Zoe is not an easy champion to navigate at all. You have to play very safe. You cannot be caught out by a Bard stun or a Mordekaiser pull. If you are, you're almost certainly sentenced to death. And Senna is not, the AD carry that just gets to walk around and kite away around team fights, right? She has to position herself for that Q, for healing for her teammates and damage. And really, you're only looking at pilotable champions like Nunu and Set. Yeah, they kind of just want to get into the team, knock everyone up, and use their big AoE ultimates. But other than that, I'm expecting Dark Matter here to have to put a lot of work into their team composition, which I think you're absolutely right, Diachra, is that TG Ezreal just really want to explode this game early on.
Yeah, and it is going to come around those item spikes, which I think is really important when we talk about what we saw last game, because Misty was terrifying even on his Zac last game, and on something like a Nunu that has even more early gank potential, I fully expect that we see at least 3 ganks by the 6-minute mark. Just being able to roll in with the biggest snowball ever is going to, well, maybe not kill something like Bard Ezreal, start to burn summoners. Yone, obviously very punishable as a melee champion, and there is a world where we see, before those item spikes, the games start to explode with the amount of comfort that Dark Matter squad has drafted themselves.
Yeah, and those ganks onto the bot lane, I think, are going to be a point of contest right here. Ezreal with his Arcane Shift and his ability to flash as well. As soon as you get Flash, he turns from unkillable to very hard to kill, right? Yes, he is very safe as an AD carry, but he is killable. Arcane Shift, if he is still slowed down, you can still catch up to him, especially because he has to kite his way around. So I think if you can get that summoner off of Ezreal, you're looking at a relatively easy kill target. You just have to be wary of the pick potential from TGE here, right? They have Bard with the Tempered Fate, Mordekaiser, Death Realm, and Yone, all who are ready to jump on a moment's notice at whoever they need. So I think if you're setting a vision, working your team comp correctly, I think Dark Matter have a good composition to work with here. I just think that TGE are ready to pounce in this game the moment Dark Matter present themselves.
Yeah, as soon as we see Dark Matter overextending, this composition from TG is going to be so much more ready to pile in and end the entire team. Not just get a few picks like you would with the Syndra, but with something like Yone and Ezreal, their ability to dance around the fight and keep it going more than that single target burst could actually be something that if we see Dark Matter squad playing the way they did last game, to sort of speak to that same thing of, Misty being an early ganker, we saw Dark Matter consistently overextending, and that could easily spell their death this game.
Yeah, we will see how these two teams decide to play it out after that absolute thriller of a game number 1. TGE looking to fight their way back into this one. Dark Matter looking to close this one out in a swift fashion. We'll see which team comes out on top as we load up the Summoner's Drift. We will be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, apologies about the tardiness of the beginning of this game, but again, software is, it is what it is, and now that we are loaded up, both these teams are ready for game number 2, as am I, as am my, my color caster for the night, which is Diashbra. And I know we were talking a little bit about the drafts and how things were going to play out, but we already get to see some more early shenanigans, which is always super fun.
Yeah, I like Dark Matter Squad's proactivity here, trying to look for some early picks, look for some early poke, and Yo-Yo Bros manages to land a nice paddle star, but now with the Doran's shield and the fleet footwork in the mid lane, Avatar Flame is looking to sustain through what is honestly going to be a rather rough matchup for the early period, given that Zoe, Ignite, Electrocute, Yo-Yo Bros wants to be able to kill him, and Avatar, I think that really it's just the name of the name of the game is going to be sustain for the Yone, because once he does hit that 2-item spike that we've talked about, it becomes so much easier for him to start bursting people. Until that point, very difficult champion to pilot.
Yeah, and Yone is known for his mid to late game team fighting. With that ultimate, it's a very big team fight oriented ability, being able to get everyone in the same place all together and allow your big AoE damage to come through. And in this instance, it would be Mordekaiser, Burn, Volibear ult, Ezreal ult as well, things like that we're looking at. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward for this mid lane, right? You're absolutely right. Sustain, put on that Thorn shield, make sure you're not taking too aggressive of early lane trades. You can already see Yo-Yo Bros looking to shove in this wave and abuse the range to melee matchup. That should be what we're seeing in the mid lane. To me, the only interesting matchup probably for this game, but then again, shouldn't be too exciting as Yone is not really looking to duke it out early.
And look at this fascinating path. It looks like Nunu's going down bot lane, has already stolen away the Raptor camp, and now it's going to be Zero Strikes in trouble here.
Oh, UGFL maybe in a lot of trouble, has to flash his way away. A couple more autos come in on the back end by Nasus using that Glacial Augment and that approach velocity to get a few more in the back end, but nothing too crazy just going on quite yet, as Nunu will roll her way back up to her top side jungle.
Yeah, and now, I mean, Yo-Yo Bros hasn't been ganked by the Volibear, who's positioning for it, as much as he does have a little bit of an awkward trade there, but Nunu going to find Volibear in the jungle, and I expect this to be a small skirmish at least. Yeah, there we go. The cutback finally means that we get to see what should be first rotation from the Zoe.
Ooh, UGFL on the bot side ignited down.
There's going to be action. Get ready.
Yeah, here we go. Please, directed camera, take me to where I want to go. It is not this top lane, I promise you. And seems to be all fizzled out in the jungle.
Yeah.
In fact.
That's actually really surprising, given that we had what was such an awkward position for Steel Assault there. It does end up being a really favorable play for Dark Matter. At least it's a nice ward to get that soul under the turret.
Yeah, so that's actually quite interesting, and I've had the opportunity to play Senna quite a lot myself, and while that does feel quite satisfying, you have to remember in a team-coordinated environment, those wards are actually pretty valuable. So while it does feel good, you're now losing a little bit of vision, and along with that ward put in the brush there by Zygo, I believe, now they're sitting completely blind above them, and they are pushed pretty far up, and you can already see Avatar Flame, reading my mind, roaming his way down.
Yeah, and it looks like this should be spotted out at least by Dark Matter Squad, because Nunu roaming down wants to secure that double scuttle anyway, as well as Zoe being able to ping out that her mid laner is missing, and really all that roam nets him is a little bit of lost CS towards that mid lane. Zoe being able to have her way. Looks like we might get some action in the top side, though. This could be Steel Assault that we were looking for.
Okay, flash out of the Mordekaiser pull. Wolf not able to land that one, setting up his jungler. Steel Assault, yes, hovering around there, but flash burned is, I'm sure they're happy with the result.
Yeah, that is extremely good for them, actually, because Set being relatively immobile into somebody like a Mordekaiser, once he ticks over to that level 6, going to have a really hard time actually duking it out. I like the fact that out of a relatively immobile top laner, they get something like the flash that Volibear can look to revisit rather easily.
Yeah, and when that level ticks up, Volibear's turret dive potential is pretty much unmatched, right? No one else in the game can completely shut off a turret, other than Bard, matter of fact, UGFL. One of the only other champions in the game that can do that. So they have a couple of those tools under the belt this time around. And we'll see if they opt to use them, to chain a turret to not be used in a dive. That's sort of interesting to think about. But other than that, yeah, certainly getting the flash off of Chaser is going to make him not only less threatening in these early Drake fights and early team skirmishes in his lane. When you're getting pulled into Death Realm, there's no way out of it other than hovering towards the inward side and waiting to showstopper Mordekaiser back into your own turret.
Yeah, and it is a play that we could actually see yield fruit here. There's the cancel that you talked about.
Yeah, the cleanse, but the roam up by UGFL is phenomenal. Ignite going to be taking down. Avatar flashes the snowball. It is absolutely beautiful here in the mid lane. Misty will go down as well, you can only imagine. And what a play by TGE. 2-0 across the board, and now there's a team skirmish on the top side. Chase forcing a little bit of a fight there, but ends up getting himself away, and nothing to be found there, but just really well played in the mid lane by TGE.
Yeah, and what looked like a really good play actually turns south for Dark Matter Squad. They let themselves be pushed in the bot lane, I think expecting to be able to force a gank with the Nunu, but instead that allows Bard to roam towards that top side. The lack of vision really coming to fruition because they don't know where UGFL goes. Ends up showing up the mid lane, grabbing themselves 2 kills there, as well as the Dragon.
And you can see that Still Assault and UGFL are hovering around this bush to see if Dr. Nasty's and Co. want to step up a little too far, but you can't commit that much time to it. They walk themselves away. It was this lane here on the bottom lane. Senna and Nami has so much sustain and so much poke. It can almost be infuriating to play into it, right? Ezreal doesn't want to waste 800 gold on that early executioner, so he just has to deal with the sustain that they have in this lane and deal with the amount of poke without being able to compensate for it properly.
Yeah, stolen flash from Yo-Yo Bro will get him away from what could have been another deadly gank. Well, in the bot lane, we may be seeing some more action.
Yeah, we'll see if Nunu can do anything, but Ezreal's really hard to kill. Still has flash available, so actually we'll see Avatar go to sleep for the first time this game, I believe. But yeah, back to a little state between these two squads. As I say that, Caster's Curse as always. Ignite going to go down onto 0 strikes. Bard Tunnel going to take him back to his jungler, who is hovering around. Now they may be pushed up a little too far. Can they land any CC onto Nas as the flash goes in? But it's a great ultimate. TP committed to the back end. Can they turn this one around? Where's the showstopper from Set coming off cooldown in a few seconds? Still Assault out of mana. Not able to get himself any shields. Chase doesn't have the flash available. It's going to take him under turret now. They used the Haymaker early and turned around 1 for 1, to be fair. They're looking for the dive. Redemption coming in. Used to get these people even lower under the turrets. UGFL 0 strikes hovering. But in comes Yo-Yo with a great paddle star. Snipes away the enemy 80 carry. 0 strikes dead before he even had a chance to flash or heal. They're going to find UGFL on top. They trade one back to the tower. But it is a relatively clean turret dive from the side of Dark Matter.
And I'm going to go ahead and take the opposing stance there. Team Dark Matter Squad, they do get themselves ahead, but that was ridiculously messy just in terms of the actual turn of play there. Set comes down without teleport, and really it's a net 0 until he decides to commit to the play, and Yo-Yo Bro to be able to get away here is still relatively safe. No fates, or what's that? What fate? Not fate's call. What is it? Fate sealed. No fate sealed available for the Yone anymore. Sealed. Now actually could look to be ganked, though.
No way out this time around, so gonna be ganked this time, and let's see the Noodle ultimate. No way to cancel that one. Drowsy, Temper Fate comes in, only gonna hit Misty, trying to save your mid laner. Now they're gonna try to turn this one around with UGFL. Steel Assault trying to tank up. Where's the snowball going? It's away, but it's gonna roll without the person manning that one. Is Misty finds himself going back to the gray screen, and these teams are back to the good old normal. Diatripas, they are fighting.
We are going both ways, and it's still that UGFL roams away up the top side. That's a dead chase if I've ever seen one. He might manage to escape the death realm, but it won't be for too long. There he goes, popping out of there. Has the flash available, actually, and no pullback from Dolph. But he finds himself a Volibear and flashes in the wrong direction. My friend, you were going towards only more death here. Steel Assault should be able to catch up to him. Look at Yo-Yo Bro, he's roaming down. They could look to actually kill Steel Assault here at least.
It's the clown music that has begun, and they find Steel Assault with the ignite from Yo-Yo Bro.
He's not dead.
He's not dead. Showstoppers is way away. Is he getting away? Is this the greatest game of the 21st century? Can they find him? Chase trying to stay alive for so long. Conquer a puck. Where's the Haymaker? One or more. Oh no, he doesn't. He gets away. Chase still living for now. trying to find his way away once more. The flash forward where it's an XQ for Mordekaiser. Finally, Dolph gets the kill. Misty should be able to walk himself away. And man, oh man, production, where's the clown music? Because
oh my god!
Ridiculous.
I want to say I was doing a bit. I was actually choking, but not as hard as that play was, because good god. Set lives for so ridiculously young. Yo-Yo Bro sets himself up now at that 2-1, which is going to be absolutely terrifying when you talk about Zoe. I mean, Volibear trying to make it up in this bot side, might actually be able to.
There we go. There's the ultimate, perfectly timed with a tempered fate, and both of them go down for it. A good shot by UGFL. And this one, not as sloppy as the previous play. Clean execution from TGE as they find the entirety of the bot lane to set themselves up for a clean second Drake of the game.
Yeah, it's another pick right around that Drake timer that actually allows them to take this in what I want to call against the flow of play, because I was just talking about how scary Yo-Yo Bro is, how scary Misty is, and the fact that Chase has actually been able to propel himself into relevancy, but now it looks like we're getting another case of Dark Matter squad here as they overextend consistently.
Oh, so he's going in, lands a paddle star, dodges one stun. Here comes Misty with the biggest snowball ever, trying to re-engage, gets the knock up onto the mid laner. That consumed us so much damage. What even is that? Dawning Shadow across the squad. Riding the wave back to the fountain is this Avatar. And now he's sitting at 1-3. Not the Yone we wanted to see in this game. And they will snowball themselves right towards the first Rift Herald of the game.
Yeah, and that was a crazy mid lane fight. What looked like very split team fight actually really comes together with the AoE ultimates that Dark Matter squad bring to them. And Yo-Yo Bro obviously having the ability to put out ridiculous amounts of damage is extremely far ahead at this point, very close to that Ludens. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pick that one up on his next back and start really being able to blow up. I want to say anyone. Dolph is really the only person I think has remaining, quote, tankiness at this point to Zoe. Steel Assault, having just completed that Cinder Hulk, is in no way ready to deal with these paddle stars.
Oh, that is a lot of damage, actually. With that, without Ignite and Ultimate. So now Avatar can begin to look to dominate this lane. He's kind of hit his beginning of what is to come, and now Chase is going to be thrown in the Death Realm. He uses the Haymaker, maybe a little early this time around, but Jungler's here to help finish this one off. Chase, you're not going to get out of this one, my friend, and goes down on the top side. Dolph claims kill credit. The response here is a Rift Herald on the bot side.
And the response here, moreover, is going to be that first tower. As soon as the minion wave is cleared out, this should be the tower going over to Dark Matter. And a gold injection into Senna, Nami, as well as Misty should be traded back on the top side. And it's going to be a battle of the win conditions now. You have a mid lane and a bot lane that are ahead, but can they stand up to something like that Mordekaiser? Because much like in game one, side lanes is going to be the name of the game for TG Ezreal.
Yeah, and sadly for Dr. Nasus, you're going to have to pay the QSS tax this game. You just simply cannot pretend like you can live long enough in Death Realm to come out of that alive and help your team. Meanwhile, though, we're going to see a knock-up onto 2. Paddlestar will go forward, but in goes Steel Assault with that ultimate. It's a 3-on-2 for now. It's going to be a great Fate Sealed from Avatar Flame, but it's just not going to be good enough to save his jungler. Now he's on the way out with the Soul Unbound. Q3 takes him to safety, but in comes the biggest snowball made out of paper mache. Will just hit the support. UGFL base tanking that one. Stuns up Chase on his way away, but nothing other than that Volibear finding himself going back to the gray screen, and maybe get a little pressure on the spin chart, but I do not expect it to fall.
That's a weird looking cosmic binding. That is pretty concerning there, Dr. Nasus.
There we go. Yo-Yo trying to get himself away. Ignite ticking down, but should not be too much fighting going on at this point in the game. Neither of these teams want a coin flip at this point. You can see everyone's being careful to try to disengage. Misty gonna be thrown in Death Realm once again. Trying to get around to the river. Dodges one. Mordekaiser Q. Still assaults here, but the rest of the squad has arrived to keep Misty nice and safe. Sleepy Trouble Bubble, make it double. The Paddle Star lands. Yo-Yo slowed up, and the fighting still continues. As here we go. Fight is broken out now over this mid brush. It's Dr. Nasus that finds himself going back this time, and 10 to 10 gold is going places. Man, this is a crazy, crazy game.
This is really strange, especially, you know, with that pick coming onto Dr. Nasus. Like you mentioned, cannot survive the burst, but they give over a lot of free time in this top lane to Chase, who has found himself, I want to say, a little bit struggling in the matchup against the Mordekaiser. And so ultimately, they lose a single champion. They give over, let's call it 300 gold, but they get themselves so much more pressure on the map. It is a good play in favor of TG Ezreal, but right now, at least, Dark Matter Squad losing the minimum, which I think we need to sort of applaud here as we get into what is going to be the dragon play that really determines the flow of the game for the next, what I want to call 5 minutes. We're coming up on those item spikes. Yone has himself a Phantom Dancer, and Ezreal obviously sitting not close to the Triforce completion just yet, and just near that Manamune, but everyone else on his team is ready to go around now.
Yeah, and Triforce is a relatively expensive build, so it's going to take him a while to get there. And that transformation is ever important for this Ezreal as well. Not only for the Ezreal, yeah, it's another great Battle Star, and oh, that's a lot of missed skill shots from Zero Strikes. He's going to pay the price, having to flash his way out. Yo-Yo's going to be stunned up into a great Fate Seal, Dawning Shadow, just not in time. Dr. Nasus going to be thrown into the Death Realm. You needed the QSS, you don't have it just quite yet. Trying to kite his way around, True Shot barrage across the team. Dr. Nasus goes down to a great slam into the ground from Mordekaiser. Putting that... Wow, okay, that what even happened in that team fight, Dia? We're talking about how these teams are trying to dance around the Drake, and just like that, it's CGE that pick up this Drake, putting themselves on sole point.
Yeah, and it comes off the back of Misty being in a really awkward position, being able to tank up 3 members, and Yo-Yo overextends just a small amount on the side, but a really nice magical journey actually from UGFL allows them to collapse, get that pick, and really take off what is the majority of the damage. You mentioned, of course, Dr. Nasus not having the QSS, but it is Chase now trying to make a fight on his own, and I'm not sure this is the time, my man. Gonna get pulled right back in?
They're all gonna team fight now, and everyone's gonna join back in. It's the entirety of TGE trying to chase down Chase. They get him in the end. And in comes Misty with a big old snowball. See if the team is here to follow up on this one, but you're just by yourself. Over the wall goes this Yo-Yo bro. And Misty finds himself away, having to force to flash. Yo-Yo bro still looking for more. Where's the Battle Star going? It's on the UGFL on the wrong side of the map for now. Everyone's going forward. Misty lands a snowball on his 0-2, trying to get away with that E. Mordekaiser stunned up with the Nami bubble. 3 from Avatar to zone away. Dr. Nasus trying to hunt down UGFL, but Bard, is so fast that probably not going to make that one happen, and they just go right back to trying to push this mid wave. Just kidding. We're going right back to fighting. Heal now. 0-2 misses a couple skill shots and gets punished hard.
That is really rough because, I mean, clearly TG Ezreal thought that they could take that fight, but they hadn't managed to spend the gold that they got from the team fight previous and are just not that strong without the backup of their tank line. Dolphin Steel Assault providing so much damage as well as tankiness is something that TG Ezreal need, I want to say, more than their carries right now.
Yeah, and Dr. Nasus is nowhere near this carry potential. Sitting on Berserker Greaves actually is a little interesting to me. Typically, you don't see Senna pick up that attack speed. It's more something like the Swifties that allow you to kite around. Tempered Fate coming out from UGFL, not going to land on either of these bot laners, trying to clear away some vision. And yeah, I think they need a little bit of something here to kick things off. But both these teams have just been skirmishing all over the place, Dia, and we're talking about how game 1 was such a mentally taxing game. I'm not sure whether this is just exhaustion fighting or whether this was the game plan coming out of the gate.
Yeah, it seems like it is sort of that tiredness kicking in because right after that dragon fight, we know that Dark Matter Squad don't get to win another fight for a while, and yet we see them continually forcing afterwards into what is a very 5-man strong team that has hit their power spikes and just no real awareness of the fact that they're actually quite strong on TG Ezreal right now, coming up from Dark Matter Squad.
Yeah, and Dr. Nasus losing his flash under turret, not kiting appropriately, and GFL going to take himself away with a magical journey. Good stun, to be fair. Locks up 2, and Yeah, Dr. Nasus losing Flash to the Fate Sealed from Avatar, and yeah, it looks like a little bit of sloppiness, to be fair, from both of these squads, and blue buff all rightfully going to be smited away by Steel Soul. Dolph, meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, thank you, Directed Camera, for getting us that little bit of a split push angle. You can see that Misty and crew are going to retreat away from this Baron pit. They get scuttled, are happy with that vision.
And I'm glad that they at least walk away with something, but they've committed 5 members to the top side of the map. Mordekaiser is literally no teleport in the bottom side, and there's no Baron pressure to speak of. They're trying their hardest to pick UGFL, who's going to continue to magical journey away. There's no way they catch Avatar here as well. Going to be able to use that very same magical journey. Now,
they're going under the turret for it. Avatar going to punish him so hard. There's no way Misty can make that happen 1v2 under the turret, and that's just the sloppiness we were talking about. Tempered Fate gonna be dodged. Good dodge by Dr. Nasus, but the onslaught is here from TGE. Follow through with that magical journey. Good stun, but Zygo is the sacrificial lamb for his team. Avatar Flame is on a killing spree, and now the Baron. Maybe the call. 17 seconds on the jungler. Do they look for it? No, they will just push out a couple more waves.
And Infernal Drake spawning in 30 seconds, so they can take this priority that they have with a dead jungler and support, both that are needed for warding on the side of Dark Matter Squad, and convert it into a potential dragon here. The Liandry's Torment has just been picked up by Mordekaiser, and I'm very scared. We've also hit the Infinity Edge for Yone. Dark Matter Squad do not seem to have their heads about them right now, as we've hit this sort of mid-game, very lost, trying to force fights that honestly don't need to be fought. And right now we have what is a power-spiked team ready to take Infernal Soul if they want it.
Yeah, we'll see if that fight happens, but it's going to happen right now. Drake is available. Whoever dies now is not going to have access to this Drake Death Realm on Chase. That's not really who Dolph wants. He wants to find anyone he can get an easy pick on. Chase trying to get away. Flashes over the wall as soon as the Death Realm ends. Magical Journey available. Trying to find a way into the jungle. No one's going to fight for now. In goes Misty with a snowball. Cuts it off early. Doesn't want to commit himself to the fight. Doesn't want to die so early on. Knows he's the smite available to secure this Drake. To steal away Infernal Soul. Cleanse the bubble. Here we go. Misty's in. Puts the ultimate down. Bolts on 2. He finds a double kill. He goes huge on the team fight. The rest of the squad just has to clean this one up. It's 4 members absolutely annihilated. As soon as TGE wanted to pull the trigger, they damn did it. And they get Infernal Soul.
And they push their tank line into the middle of the enemy team, but Dolph doesn't care about any of that. He is a massive source of AoE damage, and Dr. Nasus and Zygomatic do not have any health to speak of in order to live through that. Picking up the Liandry's as well as the Proto Belt, he blows them up, and there's really nothing else that anyone on Dark Matter Squad can do. Certainly not Chase, who's found himself flashless, ultless, and even haymakerless so early on.
Yeah, and it was a TP committed as soon as that fight ended from Dolph to the top side. The Baron is the call. There's no way Misty and crew get here in time. UGFL on zoning duty. They do good enough to secure that one. Snowball won't find anyone on Baron. They'll find all 5 members of TGE resetting wearing purple. And now the game is cracked wide open for TGE to force us to a game 3.
This is certainly TGE's game to lose here. They have the Baron. They have very, very strong side laners at this point. They can just do exactly what they're doing right now. Mordekaiser in the top lane, Yone in the bot lane, and Ezreal Bard Volibear is not a trinity that you want to be approaching come this middle lane. This is what should be a very simple sort of closeout here for Ezreal. And as much as Dark Matter Squad have ways back into the game, they are now off the back of mistakes.
Ooh, and Yo-Yo's caught out in the mid lane. That's not what you want to see when you're facing a Baron empowered Siege. Now 0-2, and the rest of his crew get to free hit on this mid tier 2. The rhymes were intentional, not all of them. But I'll take it, as we can see the snowball going on to Avatar. Q3 won't take him to safety this time, interrupted by that snowball. Rooted up, gonna be slowed up by this ultimate. Fate sealed back into the crew. Can he find any picks now? True Shot Barrage doesn't find enough. It's 2 members dead already for the side of TDMS. This may spell doom. Chase trying to find one, bring him back in with a showstopper. Steel Assault in the front line, trying to take up the damage for the team. Haymaker not going to do enough. This time around, stunned up is 0-2. There goes the Mystic Shots and the Essence Flux, trying to arcane himself to safety. Gets away this time, picks off the enemy support, and now Dolph is just in the mid lane, adding insult to injury. The damage is just too strong. You can't portal jump out of that one. Dominating is Dolph and the rest of this crew. TGE are going to put a swift end to this one.
That fight goes on for so long, and Dolph is pushing down the base while it happens. Now bot lane inhibitor goes to fall as well. It looks like this could just be the end of the game in favor of TG Ezreal. They've pulled themselves together. This beautiful mid-game composition, they are executing on it perfectly.
And here we go. Nexus turret number 1 gone. Nexus turret number 2 going to be left alone for now. The health bars, to be fair, from TGE are so low. They don't want to commit to throwing this lead away. It is a 10k gold lead that they sit on, as a few members of them will head back to the base now, wearing Infernal Soul, wearing Baron, clearing out this jungle that was once TDMS, but now it is all written in the favor of TGE. They look so strong in this mid-game, Dia, and I'm not sure that there's any way for Dark Matter to get their way back into this one.
Now, if solo queue has taught me anything, there is always a way, but I mean, we are seeing it slip further and further past what I want to call the barrier of possibility here. Flame is going to be able to get away from this snowball. That's kind of the power of the Yone that we see, really, is his ability to commit, take a trade, and be able to back off as soon as he decides that it's not going in his favor, sees the Nunu, manages to get the heck out of dodge, and TG Ezreal, they are the ones with the leisure of deciding what fights they want to take, because Dark Matter Squad, they're trapped in their base until further notice.
Yeah, they are on eviction notice now, Dia. They're soon to be evicted out of their own Nexus. As we can see, the siege is piling on for TGE. Bot lane has Super shoving in the top lane, 2 members strong here. They are going to commit with the snowball. We'll see what they can find. I don't think they're going to come up with a full hand of picks here. They're just looking to clear out waves, stall for as long as they can to get this base under control. Chase on Super clearing duty, but he's left 1 lane uncontested. TP available soon for Dolph. They could almost force it now if they wanted under their turret. That may be what they're doing. Goes Drowsy, goes Dolph, throwing him in to the Death Realm. In goes Steel Assault, not able to turn off the turret this time. 0-2, forced to flash away from Misty. Can he find the Ezreal? Channeling, gets the shutdown, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Avatar Flame trains him right back, and the turret dive was not successful, but it was not unsuccessful at the same time. All members still alive. 0-2, the only one not available to continue this siege. Drowsy Magical Journey takes him away. They will get this turret as supers continue to pour in. Tempered Fate onto Yo-Yo. The stun is certainly going to follow, and it's an instant deletion for this Zoe. TP now committed from Dolph from base. This may just be the end of the game right here, right now. TGE press in this wave. They have the supers to do it in mid. This may be the game-ending push to force us to a game number 3. It's only the Nexus alive. It's certainly got to be game over now. Just hit the Nexus, boys. You can showstopper all you want, but TGE wrap game number 2 up in style.
And what a crazy series of events from what looked like Dark Matter Squad actually doing quite well in the early game. TG Ezreal, they hit their item spikes, they play around them so well, and they take us to a much shorter game 2 here, 29 minutes on the clock. The fact that, I mean, they were able to close out with absolutely zero objective control from Dark Matter Squad is a huge turnaround from game 1 here.
Yeah, much better performance from TGE this time around. We will see the results of this series coming in the next game. Who takes this best of 3? Stick around to find out. We'll be right back on Style Esports. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Style Esports. Still at this series once again. We have a little bit of a tricky situation. Our first side swap of the night. Dark Matter taking blue side this time around. TGE on red side. But the only thing staying the same in this series is I am still Necrox, and joining me still on the desk is Diatra. How are you doing?
I am doing well, and I mean, thank God that we have some sort of consistency in our lives, because the first game of this series looked like it felt like TG Ezreal couldn't really pull themselves together in the face of Dark Matter squad really throwing themselves wholeheartedly into whatever fight they could. Second game though, TG Ezreal pull themselves back into the series by drafting a huge mid-game composition, brought themselves up really nicely to punish Dark Matter squad's overextensions multiple times, and shut the game out in a clean 29 minutes.
Yeah, and we get to see Ashe for the first time in this series. Yeah, and I'm super excited this was banned away both games before, and now that we get to see this really important AD carry, I'm super excited to see what Zero Strikes can do. We'll see if that ends up making the difference, but we get the Yone once again from Avatar Flame, which looked pretty dang good in game number one.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we have the Yone being picked up here again, because that looked absolutely terrifying, especially once he managed to hit even that one item spike. I felt like TG Ezreal really came online around their mid and top laner. I'd like to see something lane dominant drafted for Dolph as well, because if they get it, if they get him a nice matchup, I think that we see Avatar Flame and Dolph be able to run over this game.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the counter pick in mid lane. Something important to me now. We get the Jhin and Morgana. You want to see a mage here from UGFL. Please go something like the Zyra if it's in your pocket. It plays so well, not only into Morgana, it does well into Jhin as well. And now we get to see the Lux, which can be a similar look, trying to break that black shield and poke out this lane before they can land their big CC chain. I like to see UGFL picking up a more mage-oriented support here, and that's exactly what I think they need.
Yeah, and the Lux is going to be really useful. Obviously, he's going to be taken though into the Morgana of Zygomatic, is what I assume is happening, because Zygomatic obviously playing, or not obviously, nobody knows, playing a lot of Morgana in his solo queue games. I don't know why I said it was obvious. It's really not at this point, because we haven't seen it yet this series. But what is obvious is that Shen and Set, very strong top lane bruisers that it feels like we need to look out for, because top lane has been a real determiner of this series. With Chase being able to pick up so much momentum in game one, and Dolph being able to absolutely run the Rift in game two. Top lane is where I'm looking to be perhaps the counter pick on red side.
And Ornn banned away as well. Typically, if you're trying to give your top laner counter pick, you are not banning away lots of champions. 4 top lane bans though coming in this final phase deal, and that screams to me that top lane is the focus of this game. I mean, in all, total we get 5 top lane bans throughout. That does give away a lot of what these teams are trying to do. We'll see if top lane gets counterpick here, if TGE do want to go that route, and it is. Trundle will be the pickup as tank duty for Steel Assault.
And I like the Trundle here. It's going to be able to negate a lot of top lane tankiness. And the Maokai, I think, isn't exactly the autonomy that I'm looking for out of Dolph, but there is potential for us to pivot into a top lane matchup. This could be we're going to have a safe top laner, and we're going to look to carry through mid, but I like the Orianna pick here. Yo-Yo is extremely good on this pick, has shown it previously in Style Esports, can silently succeed and honestly start popping off with some beautiful shockwaves.
Yeah, and Orianna is one of those champions that you always underestimate and when you're playing into her, right? You're like, oh, it's Orianna. We all know what she's going to do. She's going to slow us, she's going to speed up her teammates, and she's going to hit R, right? And you're like, okay, well, that's easy to deal with. And then you're like, oh, wait, why am I dead 3 seconds into this team fight? Oh, that's right, she had a 5-man shockwave. So I really like to see this from Yo-Yo. Silently succeed, I think is very good way of putting it. Poppy is locked in blind here for Dark Matter. Chase on the top side going to be piloting that little Yordle. And the most important, the ultimate pick of this game, and even of the series, in what we get to see in R5. I am so excited to see the final conclusion of draft. And it's a
Maokai. And I'm so excited to God darn it.
All right, well, that hype was built up for a big tree in the top lane. Chat, if you are still listening, chat, the Maokai hype is real. I mean, that is the best thing we could have asked for. R5 in a best of 3 game 3 series, right?
Oh yeah, and I mean, now that we have this tree, who's going to be able to spread his roots takeover? I hope he goes AP. Just go for it, Dolph. I want to see this guy absolutely blowing people up. But what it looks like to me is that with that pick, they're conceding the lane into the Poppy. They don't want to try and maybe take a bruiser into it and have Poppy dominate the lane like they know that she can. It is a pivot away from the top side carried by TG Ezreal, and they have the damage in order to do this. They have Ashe and Yone. I think that this just puts a lot more pressure on Avatar Flame and a lot more attention that needs to be given to him by Steel Assault, this time not on a ganking jungler, but more of a counter-ganking one.
And I'm interested to see what UGFL actually builds here, whether it is the Guardian with Shielding Lux, or if it is more of the AP mage-oriented build, because they are lack on AP. Yone, a quarter of his autos are magic damage, so it's 25% of his auto attacks, and then Maokai is known for his AP as well. Of course, he's going to be building full tank this game anyway, so it's not like his damage is super important.
Why do you say of course?
I know, right? We thought Veigar was going to be going mid in game 1, and that was... that was an of course mode as well, but yeah, I'm interested to see what AP they pull out. I think they can be lacking there, and playing into Poppy Volibear, that can be a little scary because armor stacking is real for both these champions, and if they get to do that for free, then it's going to be really hard to kill them.
It really is, and I mean, I think that Poppy here is a nice pickup because it helps prevent things like the Yone from being able to access your backline. And that's really the threat that you're worried about. We talked about TG Ezreal's composition being very Yone-centric, and on the other side, it feels like Dark Matter Squad, they recognize that. They draft the Poppy to be able to have a front line, to be able to at least help cancel what this Yone wants to do, get him off the backline. And then with people like the Orianna, they can punish the follow-up so well. Morgana, a really good counter-engaged champion. And I mean, Orianna, Volibear are going to be able to bring so much splash damage to wherever the fight is starting to take place while Yone is divided from his team.
Yeah, and I think you touched on something here, Dia, that is really important, and it's the counter engage. Morgana, Orianna, Poppy, and Jhin are all such good champions at punishing your missed engage. Imagine this scenario where Yone and Maokai are trying to dive into the team. Morgana black shields one and Poppy pushes away the other. Now you're looking at a situation where Jhin gets to open up curtains, Orianna gets to throw shockwave onto whoever Yone is returning to, and Morgana gets to bind a target up. Now the fight is absolutely disaster. You've wasted cooldowns, you've wasted Lux shield assuming, and there's just not a lot left for you. So as long as the execution is there from this blue side DMS, then I think they're looking pretty good. I think they can start to re-engage these fights and look for better picks. But as long as they're not caught out by the Maokai, Asher, Yone CC, then they can start to turn these fights around. But there is a lot of hard CC for TGE to work with.
There really is, and I think that most of the time when we are loading into a game, what I want to start pointing out is champions, right? Or I want to say lanes that need to succeed. Things like saying Misty Jungle needs to get ganks off early on. This is their win condition. And this time, I don't feel like that's necessarily appropriate. We've seen both of these teams, Dark Matter Squad and TG Ezreal, be able to, I want to say, adapt to each other during this series. Last game, it was TG Ezreal who really adapted to Dark Matter Squad. And this time, the game is not going to be decided by an individual player. Obviously, there is going to be some form of Avatar Flame needing to succeed, but in this case, the game is going to be decided by Dark Matter squad and how well their playstyle has adapted to TG Ezreal, because they've drafted themselves another mid-game spiking composition that can punish Dark Matter squad's over-aggression, and we need to see Dark Matter squad rein that in as we get into the final game of the night, the determiner of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you are looking for one player to need to get ahead and get resources, it is Avatar Flame. I think on Yone, you kind of inherently need that advantage. But other than that, I think this game is wide open for these mid-game team fights to be the breaking point for either of these squads. I'm not expecting, Ashe and Lux to come out of lane with 3 ganks and, Steel Assault spending 90% of his padding down bot side. I think this game is really just, where's Ashe Hero going? Where's Trundle Pillar going, and where's Maokai going to send his resources? And on the other end of the coin is, where's Black Shield from Zygo? Where's the Shockwave? And where's Poppy peeling? Like, those are the things that you have to look out for in team fights. And once we see where those cooldowns go, the team fight breaks open from there. I think this is a great game 3 to watch, and I think it's going to be even better when we get into that mid-late game where the game can be decided.
It really is, and I'm excited to start it. And as Spectre delay ticks down, I'm kind of bouncing in my seat. We mentioned that I sit on a yoga ball, and I can already feel myself. I need to ground myself here. Hold on to my desk, because this is going to be a game for the history books.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see where this series ends up, whether DMS can bring it back after disaster for game number 2, or TGE get to close it out 2 games in a row, bringing it back from almost certain doom. Don't go anywhere, as we will be right back with a thrilling conclusion of this series in the Frejlord group on Style Esports. All right, everyone, welcome back to Style Esports as once again, and for the final time tonight, both of these teams fly out of their starting gates looking to draw their battle lines. And for the final time, I am still Necrox, and joining me on the desk, my good friend Dia, going into game 3. Any last thoughts, any last lottery winning predictions for this one?
Ooh, I think if we want predictions, I think TG Ezreal have the edge going into this, and so I would certainly hedge my bets towards saying TG Ezreal will walk away with this one, and it's because we've seen Dark Matter Squad not be able to adapt their mental. I'd be happily surprised if we see more conservative play coming out of them, more measured team fighting, and that's, as I mentioned, really what we're looking for going into this game. It is not about a player, it is about whether Dark Matter Squad can start to shift their playstyle to their opponents, the sign of a team that can make it all the way.
Yeah, for sure. And that is the classic style, right? Is as soon as the going gets tough, hey, let's pull back a little bit. Let's reassess the situation and slow down our early game. Let's not coin flip, the most important game of the series at 5 minutes. Let's assess our team comp. Let's get our win conditions going and let's win cleanly. And I think, yeah, if either of these sides can do that, they're going to have a very good time at the end of the series, because I think they're the favorites to pull it out. But it really is all about slowing down, looking at the game, and coming up big, not only in the mental part of this warfare, but in the execution as well.
Yeah, and just very quickly, we had mentioned the difference in the 3-game series that TG Ezreal has gone through before, and something that we didn't quite get the chance to touch on during that is that during that 3-game series, as soon as they went to the 3rd game, it was a shutout. There were absolutely no objectives taken by the enemy team in the 3rd game. Once TG Ezreal got there, they were able to just completely dominate their opponents, and that is the sort of read that I am looking for here. We already see Chase performing in the top lane, and Dolph not going to be able to answer him as well this time. Can TG Ezreal shift their win conditions towards this mid lane? Because the early jungle action that we're used to hasn't been here yet.
Yeah, and this is not looking good for Dolph already, sitting at about a quarter HP. Yes, he's going to be able to heal up off of some of his kit, but Chase is punishing Dolph really hard, and we'll see how that works out. You can see the Dr. Nasus has opted for a more conservative run this time around, going cleanse, and we're already going to see an early gank. We'll see if this is going to lead to anything. Chase still has flash available. Great pillar to throw Chase back, flash away, but it's not going to be enough. Everyone is here. Can he get away? Steel Assault is the one that's turned right back around. No flash first blood to Dark Matter. Ignite ticking down to the mid lane as well. It's a solo kill. It's a 1-for-1 across the board.
Oh my lord, Misty managing to pick up that kill on the top side is huge, but even more so is the fact that Avatar in a 1v1 scenario managed to find himself his own kill. This is the win condition that we spoke of, although Maokai...
Oh, it's going to be a one-on-one. Neither of them willing to commit all the way. Chase so low on mana and HP. Dolph ticking down low as well. Aftershock coming in huge there for Dolph. May have found himself going back to the grain brain, but here comes Misty. Flash stun. They found it onto Dolph. All that lane pressure so early on. And this team, we were talking about how we wanted to see a more conservative look from either squad, but DMS not letting up the pressure.
No, this is really, really scary. And I mean, obviously, Dolph should have back there. I am going to stop saying obviously. It's my New Year's resolution. But Dolph should absolutely have back there. Chase, even though he was relatively low himself, they still didn't have any vision on where Misty was, and he walked away from that quite high health. So maybe a little bit of confidence coming out of Dolph after he had such a beautiful game on the Mordekaiser last time. But I want to touch very quickly back on that mid lane spike. Now Boots and Double Dagger is not going to be looking overwhelming for Avatar, but it gets him so much closer to the Phantom Dancer. And that's where this mid-game spike can really start to kick in, where we can see perhaps TG Ezreal start to force these fights again. Misty roaming towards the mid lane.
Yeah, heading up, both these junglers are going to skirmish just for a second. Steel still has the pillar, throws it down, not the most optimal position. Gets himself away for now. Yo-Yo still has flash in hand and exhaust available. Can they make the play? Flash is going to go forward from Yo-Yo, almost in place. Gets it enough, though. Avatar looking to trade this one back with that soul sweep. And gonna have to sadly go back to that unbound. And DM's a little bit. He knows he's dead. No way you're getting out of this one. Smite from the heavens brings him down. Avatar Flame, though, picking up 2 kills really early on.
I am glad that we managed to get another kill in the pocket of Misty, because unlocking this jungler is something that we haven't really seen yet this series, and I'd like to see him be a little bit more autonomous, because often we see him ganking early, but it's for the benefit of his laners. This time, all the gold has gone into the pockets of the Volibear, and it's up to him to see what he can make of that. But a little bit of a yo-no moment coming in once again, as now Misty in the bot lane.
Oh, UGFL going to be stunned up, rooted up, and where's the third brute? Flashed away. UGFL, smart to get away from that one. Knows the chain CC is so strong. Interestingly enough, running Dark Harvest this game, so I expect to see that full AP build, especially coming off this first back. Drake yet to be secured, but you can only imagine that DMS are going to look for this one nice and early on, as they'll find themselves on the losing end of that grasp trade on top side.
Yeah, and Chase is going to feel really good into somebody like Dolph because of Poppy's ability to take down those tanks, but the shove in the top lane as well as the bot lane means that we get Dark Matter Squad picking up the first dragon of the game. It is going to be that Wind Drake, so we're not going to have any sort of passive dragon this game like we did in the first one. It is going to be one of those, I want to call it more aggressive, more stat impacting dragons.
Yeah, not super aggressive like an Ocean Soul or an Infernal Soul, but we'll see. Excuse me, not an Ocean Soul or a Cloud Soul, but we'll see how things pan out across Summoner's Rift. And a little bit of a good trade there from Avatar Flame in mid lane, taking himself back to his Soul Unbound. Other than that, though, it's a sizable lead for Dark Matter on this blue side. Again, first time we've seen a swap from sides from either of these teams. Seems to be paying off for now, but I'm excited to see how these mid-game fights break out, because as we were talking about, that seems to be the breaking point for both of these squads.
Yeah, mid-game is what we're waiting for right now, but TG Ezreal doesn't look like they want to wait. There's a gank in the mid lane.
Oh, they're going to go for it right now. Shockwave only does so much. Avatar Flame, 3-1. Chase TP's in the back end. Not soon enough to help his mid laner out. Gonna lose a little bit of map pressure on top side for that one, losing TP as well. But 3-1 on the Yone has to feel real good.
And that's actually a really good teleport from Chase. He burns it, but just as the wave is crashing into him, so we're going to lose minimum minions here, while Dolph, TP-less as well, is relegated to just backing out from the lane pressure from this Poppy. Now Chase going to be able to freeze the minion wave here potentially, or slow push it back into the tower of Dolph and take a really nice reset of his own.
Going to be able to reset just fine. You can see both these junglers back to clearing for now. 4-3 on the scoreboard between Dark Matter Squad and TG Ezreal. I want to quickly, before we get into these mid-game skirmishes, recap what went on in game 1 and 2 and just sort of set the stage for what we're looking at. We've seen a very Fiesta-style game, I'll admit, from most of these squads. We can see that really hasn't slowed down very much. But the difference in game number 1 and game number 2 was just simply how far they got ahead on these early game skirmishes. And as of right now, they're both so even.
Yeah, right now, with the gold being as it is, there's really nobody who's coming directly ahead. Although right now, Dark Matter Squad feeling relatively good about their chances. Chase taking the bad end of a trade finally might be the beginnings of a Rift Herald. We haven't seen that objective prioritized this game as Jennifer Solero.
Remember, the arrow breaks that black shield on first hit. Chase now in trouble. Has no mana. Has flash. Opts to burn it, but it's just not going to be enough. Steel Assault flashes forward. Zero gets himself turned upon. The Dark Harvest going to be enough. And tick, tick, tick goes down the Ignite onto the AD carry. Shockwave going to be used now here by Yo-Yo Bros. You're going to try to chase down the tree. They're going to have the speed from this Scuttle Crab. Dolph trying to knock back anyone that he can. Aftershock being procced. The team is arriving on the other side of the river, but it's not in time. And across the board, kills go down, but Rift Herald now of the target and in the eyes of Misty.
Yeah, roams from both mid laners there are super important. Yo-Yo Bro barely dodging that Fate Sealed is going to get himself away as Avatar laments it. He dabs crying into his arm. But I really like the play from both lanes. Avatar, I don't really know which fights he's going to be able to win into Yo-Yo Bro, because he is still on the opposite side of the map from what he should be. He has to be committing to this turret dive at this point, but he's overextended himself way too far.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's considered trolling. Not ever going to be able to catch up to the Orianna. Misty goes so low. The big burst there from UGFL. And now the kiting has to ensue from Zero, but he's going to be caught out just too dang quick. And it's a double kill to Dr. Nasus. The dancing grenade finds a lot of AoE damage across the team. And it's 10-5 now. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, DMS have begun to extend their lead.
And no shockwave was available for that fight, but it didn't matter because Poppy's base damages comes in alongside the Jhin and managed to close that play out in favor of Dark Matter Squad. Now Rift Herald going to be able to be taken down, and we found ourselves actually with a 4K gold lead in the favor of Dark Matter Squad. I want to check very quickly as we toggle over to the gold around this Rift Herald. Misty maybe in a little bit of trouble.
Find himself away for now. Lux Binding just coming up. Meanwhile, on the top side, Chase is trying to find himself a fight. Not going to win that one. UGFL picks himself up his first kill of the game, and Avatar Flame picking up his 5th kill of the game out of 7 for their team. So he's doing pretty dang good for himself, but the fighting just does not stop between these two teams. If you want to see skirmishes, this is the place to see them.
Yeah, and now with the Rift Herald having gone down at that point, we get a dragon, and importantly, no eye of the Rift Herald being picked up for Dark Matter Squad. It was denied, which is why we saw all of that very questionable inting from both Chase and Misty, giving over their kills respectively, and shutdowns now are going to be contesting for this Drake, but there's really nothing that that Dark Matter Squad can do about it, is now they're at the risk of being collapsed upon themselves.
Ooh, almost with the pillar into the binding. Not gonna find that one, and Ashe continues to be the typical Ashe player, throwing volleys just to annoy the enemy laner. And now we're back to lull, right? Both these teams want to reassess, see where they're standing, looking for the next skirmish, looking to see where they can get a pick. Dolph has TP available, so I expect to see him TP up here to try and collect this wave as Chase begins to push it in, or he might just opt to lose a few minions. That's completely up to him.
And now, while we are in what I'll call a lull state, and I don't think that it's an exaggeration to say that TG Ezreal has been behind for the past for the past little while, but it's just now that we are getting to a point where TG Ezreal are losing vision in the river. Up until now, it has been the vision that has dictated the flow of the games, right? We talked about it so much in game 1. Game 2, there was a little bit more fiestaing going on in terms of kill after kill after kill. But this game, even in what looks like a losing situation, TG Ezreal have both the defensive and middle, and the river vision to support those plays that they need to make happen when they do start falling behind to the micro of Dark Matter Squad.
Yeah, and we'll see if the micro and macro is the difference between these two squads. 3k gold ahead for Dark Matter, and you can see just the trades going so in favor of Yo-Yo Bros in this mid lane, beginning to learn how to outplay this Yone, and Jay's trying to find a little bit of a skirmish for himself. Don't think either top laner should die in this skirmish, but Chase still happy to continue this trade. Dolph happy to re-engage it though. Chase trying to find the one. Can he get it? Where's the smash? The tackle into the walls in here. Dolph trying to trade one back. Knows he's in a lot of trouble. Throws down the Maokai ultimate. Chase going low to the minions. The minions take him down. Dolph now in trouble, trying to get himself away. Smashes the ground, trying to keep Misty at arm's length. So quick though, with that ultimate, takes a chomp out of the tree. Doesn't taste too good. Decides to back away.
I'm actually really shocked. As we might actually
wade into exhaust. Avatar trying to go in, puts the soul unbound, trying to trade away with that soul sweep. Now it has to go back, and good knowledge by Yo-Yo Bros, but the ignite ticks down. It's a 1-for-1.
Really, really big trade in the mid lane there, and on the top side, Dolph being able to outplay in what ended up being a 1v2, 1-for-1 in the mid lane with no ultimate available for Avatar is really, really big. Has picked himself up the Phantom Dancer already, now sitting on the BF sword as well as Crit Cloak is going to be getting closer and closer to that 2-item spike where Yo-Yo is not going to be able to contest him in nearly the same way, sitting on a patchwork of items here in the mid lane. And Zygomatic actually getting caught there. Might go down.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. UGFL with the Sork Shoes able to pick that one up. Good pick on the bot side. Hawkshot used for the vision. They follow up with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and it's an easy CC chain from there on out. Good play from UGFL and 0-2. And now they get to push in mid-wave and get a little more priority over the streak that spawns in just under 90 seconds.
And we haven't been able to visit the bot lane that much, but it's important to note that it has been going in favor of Dark Matter squad. Sitting at 3-1 is the Jhin, unrelated necessarily to what has happened in the lane. We saw a lot of team fights where that happened. Yo-Yo Bro not going to get caught out by this gank or anything else, but in the meantime, it is that CS difference in favor of Dr. Nasus right now, who has the cleanse on the Jhin. Very safe carry here. If we can see him get ahead, he can start bursting down a lot of these squishier members of TG Ezreal. Lux, Ashe, and Yone all not going to stand up to 4 of those shots coming out of this carry.
Yeah, and you're right, those 3 members are in trouble, but the big problem for Jhin this game is trying to kill Dolph and steal Assault. Jhin is not known for his ability to burn down tanks. You need a more attack speed oriented champion to do that. As we see Dr. Nasus, Black Shield available, Guardian used, but it's the binding onto the support. You try to Black Shield your AD carry, that's the problem that you run into. You're the one that goes down. Flash away all you want. You're not going to be able to get away from Zero Strikes and his slows. They find a pick 15 seconds before this Drake spawns.
And the timing of it is so important. The fact that TG Ezreal now have first rotation onto this Drake and have member advantage while doing it, they've already brought down Avatar Flame, and Dolph pushing in the top side has teleport available.
Chase whiffs the ultimate Enchanted Crystal Arrow, goes wide as well. Misty on the front line, goes in, finds the enemy AD carry. They don't care about the man disadvantage. They say they want to fight right here, right now. It's a 1v1 between the AD carry and support. Support having to flash away. Now in the meanwhile, Avatar Flame going to get all the shielding. Stunned into the wall with a great tackle. And they find the enemy mid laner and AD. The damage is gone. Top laner shuts down Dr. Nasus. Dolph doing well to trade one back. It's a 2v2. Flash over the wall from Chase finds FL, excuse me. And binding doesn't land. Dolph's in trouble. Soul Shackles stun him up. He will be sentenced back to the gray screen as well. Yo-Yo Bros on a killing spree. And just like that, from man disadvantage to clean fight, they are the ones that secure Drake. DMS come out on top.
This is exactly what we were talking about, and this fight is the perfect illustration of it. TG Ezreal is what I would consider the macro team here. Dark Matter Squad showing why we would consider them the micro team. They managed to turn around a fight where they had no business winning. Avatar misses the ultimate, like you mentioned, absolutely crucial in trying to pick off Yo-Yo Bros. And from there on out, it feels like Dark Matter Squad was able to systematically pick apart the isolated members of TG Ezreal.
Yeah, they missed the Fate Seal there and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You need to land the CC onto these carries. Remember, Jhin has Cleanse. You need to be able to pick him off if you want to find an early fight. And Misty's base damage. We were talking about how base damages are so important here. Misty and Chase bringing up those base damages. The Bomby Cinder is so important for both of them. Ticking down over time. Zero Strikes had no flash in that fight. Gets hit by one bit of CC. There's no way away. Chase now channeling the ultimate, and it's a great knockback. See you later. Oh, great arrow. Good
see you later.
Yeah, he's going to go himself back to the gray screen nice and early this time around. And a good shot there by Zero Strikes, knowing that the cleanse wasn't available. Not sure if Black Shield was on cooldown, but not going to help him this time around.
And the bot lane of TG Ezreal has really turned it on. Despite their sort of awkward performance a little earlier, Avatar, speaking of awkward,
yeah, misses the that ultimate once again. I mean, they just need to be able to make those plays. And Zero Strikes makes a play in bot lane, but Avatar misses ultimate in mid, and those small mistakes can really cost you.
Yeah, we see exactly that here, costing them what might be a bot lane tower. It's only the second tower of the game at the 19-minute mark, but there's a fight in top lane.
Yeah, this isn't the macro that you want to see. Your top laner going for vision when the enemy team's ready to engage on you. Dolph is back to the gray screen once more. Yo-Yo Bros is on a rampage on this Orianna. That's really not what you want to see. Black Shield not going to be too useful this time. So already hit by the binding, just a little late from Zygo. Now the chase is on. Crystal Arrow's not available. The slows are onto Zygo, but the binding, it's the first 2 minions, and DMS bot lane gets to walk free this time.
Dr. Nasus, though, he walks straight back into the bot lane and has to back again. Granted, now the wave's going to be shoving into his tier 2, but as much as we lose the pick there, TG Ezreal, oh no.
What is this?
It might be Avatar Flame going down.
It's disgusting.
But as much as they lose Dolph towards that top side, they get both mid and bot tower with the man commitment that there is from TDMS towards the top side. Just picking the tank is not really going to be what is valuable in this game. They get themselves an injection of gold, sure, but they lose so much map pressure off that.
Yeah, they do, right? And you don't have any pressure on top side. Drake, to be fair, is spawning in 2 minutes, so they can basically be up in time for that. And lose bot towers, so that's not looking too good on that either end of the spectrum. And Chase now gets to farm his jungle because he's sort of pushed off of this side of the map as well. But Dolph doing good, even though it was a rough matchup for him to kind of keep this lane balanced, I guess I would say. I wouldn't say even because, you're down CS, but balanced in the sense that you're doing what you need for your team, which is really just sustain the lane and be able to be that front line for your squad. And he's already sitting on 1.5 items, and yeah, please don't be punished again. Please get away. Oh no, don't do this to me again, Dolph. Don't do it again. The team is here. You're going for vision.
Oh no!
Oh.
I respect it, right? You want to clear it. You go, absolutely no way that these stupid mother truckers come top again and try and punish me. But now UGFL might be getting punished themselves.
Now the entire team is going to pay the price because they don't have a frontliner. Flash forward from the entire squad here. Curtains are open. The TP's in from Chase. Who can he find? Zero Strikes is originally the target going to be knocked up straight in place. That is an excellent usage of the punch movement, and their field goes back and an execution there on the Yo-Yo Bros from Avatar Flame. But what a little show of skill there from Chase on this Poppy.
Yeah, that was really nice. The short channel ultimate really opens up the play. The root from Dr. Nasus comes in clutch, and now we talk about the picks before Drake. Dark Matter squad, they've got themselves the first rotation this time, and Avatar Flame, no ultimate, Zero Strikes is dead. This could be Soul Point going over to Dark Matter squad if they play it properly.
Yeah, and ever since Summoner's Rift has changed to make these Drakes spawn a soul, it's become ever more important that dirty S-word scaling falls in comparison to the even dirtier S-word, which is soul. Chase forced to flash away over the pillar, now in a lot of trouble in between 4 members. Not tanky enough to deal with this. The team will leave him to die this time around. Goes down. UGFL claims that kill credit, and they will secure this Drake to themselves. TGE evening out Drake Cat 2-2.
And take a mental picture right now of the way that the team is set up. This is how TG Ezreal wins the game from here on out. They have about what I'll generously give as 15 minutes. I want to say 10 to win this game. Now that we have the Infinity Edge as well as the Phantom Dancer on the Yone, Blade of the Ruin King is finished on Zero Strikes, should be getting the Rununs really soon. They are not going to get much stronger than they are at exactly this point. And it's really awkward at the... Oh, they need to be forcing these fights.
The arrow just didn't land. Zygo trying to get away. It's a 1-for-1. Avatar Flame has gone down. This may be the chance to force the re-engage. Zero has to flash away, throwing the volley across the chain, trying to get them all slowed up, but Chase is here trying to front line for his squad. Zero's trying to guide away, but they found 2 already in the fight. It's a great tackle into the wall. They found the support. Zero's all alone. 1, 2 lands. 3 is almost certain to follow. No, but 4 finds the shot. And that's the one that hurts. That's the one that does you in, and that's the one that secures DMS the Baron as they started up 2-man for now, but Dr. Nasus soon here to follow.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Dark Matter Squad commit onto basically a lot of damage whiffing on Azanya's from Yo-Yo Bros, and while he does go down in the end, they lose Avatar Flame, who, as we mentioned before the game, is the carry for TG Ezreal. The one member that needs to succeed when all else fail, ends up losing his life. Chance should be all right here, be able to get away, and that's a 5-man Baron being picked up by Misty.
5 members, all wearing purple. It was a little closer than DMS may have originally thought. Dr. Nasus getting so low to that Baron, but ended up securing that one for his team. And now the gold lead is 5,000. The kill lead is up to 8. And the itemization now for this blue side is hitting the point of no return. Orianna finishing her Zanyas because it's such an AD heavily oriented team. Jhin hitting his 2-item point. Volibear on 3 items, even picking up Titanic Hydra. Poppy completing 2 armor items, working on a 3rd now. It's looking so hard for such an AD heavy oriented team to win this game late, and I think you're absolutely right. 15 minutes maybe was generous. The cleanse come out from Dr. Nasus from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Dodges 1 binding. It's a lot of damage onto the support. Flash away from the Lux ultimate. Rabadon's Rod. Needlessly large rod. It's a little scary, but both summoners off Dr. Nasus is pretty big.
Yeah, that's a price that you are more than willing to pay as TG Ezreal if you manage to get the carry just a little bit lower for Dark Matter Squad, if you manage to take away some of that agency. But right now, the Baron power push not looking that powerful because the side lane assignment has forced Dark Matter Squad to collapse just to protect their AD carry, being able to grab a tower for themselves in the top lane.
UGFL has to flash over the wall, gets so much damage put onto him by that Volibear ultimate. The slows are on to chase. The Bork is used. Black Shield gonna stop the ensuing slows to follow. That Stormbringer from Volibear does way too much damn damage. Now he's gonna go under the tower, trying to tower dive. 0-2 gets the heal. Volley's there. Binding lands under the front line.
He's on the flank.
The auto attacks. It's a great flank from Avatar. This is the fight that they needed. They're gonna go forward. They're gonna wipe the squad. Zygo goes into the Zanyas, trying to Black Shield himself. Binding doesn't land. They find 3 members of this Baron empowered team. Dolph 1v1ing Yo-Yo Bros on the Orianna. Avatar Flame soon to follow. Has the flash in hand if he needs it. Not going to opt for this one this time around. Healing. Shockwave in from Yo-Yo. It's a good knockup. He's fighting inside the minion wave. Goes golden to try to keep himself alive with a Seraph's Embrace. Using that shield. It's a shutdown handed over to UGFL. And they find the shutdown to the only AP carry on their team. Misty now going to dodge 1 arrow from this Ashe, but the rest of the arrows are pouring into your back. Flash not going to do enough. Couple more auto attacks come in. Shield not in time. Misty finds the trade back thanks to the tower. 0 goes down. But at the end of the day, it's TGE losing the Baron, but winning the team fight. And the pings come down for Mount Drake.
And that is the dream team fight for TG Ezreal. The Avatar Flame gets a beautiful flank after almost everything has been expended onto the front line. We saw Volibear diving the tower, and yes, he shuts it down, but not for nearly long enough. And Avatar Flame, he catches Dr. Nasus as well as Misty in the Fate Seal, certainly seals their fate, and now actually could be caught out with he and Dolph running a solo mission in the side. Can they survive with the dragon here? Flash forward.
Oh, Avatar, you're cut down with red hands, my friend. Dolph trying to frontline for the squad. It's a great ultimate onto Zygo, who goes low. Chasing on the front line for his team, the only member here. He's left to die. UGFL, great binding to snipe that one away. Yo-Yo Bros trying to kite away. Misty going in for the squad. Dolph on the front line gets that aftershock proc. Good binding, gonna find the 80 carry now. Stormbringer's in over the team. Steel Assault's in trouble. Light binding won't land this time around. The curtains are opened up. 1, 2, 3. Onto Dolph. Where's the 4 shot? It misses. Over wide. Shut down onto Dolph. Didn't have the flash again to get away. And Mountain Drake was not secured by TGE. This time around, it's secured by TDMS. They're the ones to put themselves on sole point 30 minutes into this game.
Do I reiterate it for the last time, Necrox? I think that it bears just this final mention. I won't even touch on it afterward. But another overextension from Dark Matter Squad. Yes, they find themselves what is a decent team fight, given the situation they were in when Avatar got picked off really early. But it's the overextension, these two sitting in that brush for absolutely no reason while the dragon is going down, that allows Dark Matter Squad to pick up the kills and then the ensuing dragon. And yes, TG Ezreal are at a point where they can win the game, but it's slipping away from them if they keep making mistakes like this.
And the fight now is on Dark Matter's terms. Critically, that is so important. When the enemy has to walk into you, you're the one with pressure over Soul. You're the one that if they begin to 50-50 the dragon, you always have the inherent advantage. If I'm the one to steal this away for whatever reason, we're the team coming out on top no matter what. That's so troublesome. Now UGFL is in trouble. Great shot with the deadly flourish. Easy shutdown on UGFL. No way out of that one. Even burns the exhaust. Now the pings are on Baron, Dia.
What is he doing? He knows he's on no vision and he walks out just to like maybe 70% health the Jhin. Misty claps him almost all on his own and he gives over Baron priority as a gift to Dark Matter Squad.
And Steel Assault, no way over the wall. Trundle's on the other side of the map. TP is in for chase. The whole squad is here. UGFL not around just quite yet. Knocked back to the fountain goes Dolph. Avatar trying to do anything for his squad. Trying to delay. Curtains still are available. Steel Assault does not have flash to get in. The team fight is now or never. Shockwave falling 3. Yo-Yo goes big. They're trying to kite Misty away. They get the jungler. This may be the team fight that they need. Great GA from Avatar. Gonna keep them alive in the team fight for a little longer. Chase is going low. Zero Strikes goes down. This is a fight right here, right now. It's an absolute dominating fight from TGE. Only the AD carry left alive, but TGE somehow find a way back into this one. Dolph's going to secure the kill at the end of the day, and it's an absolute reckoning from TGE and Avatar. They claim Baron, they claim the team fight, and they live to breathe yet a little longer in this best of 3.
And the hero of that fight for Dark Matter Squad was Yo-Yo, bro, but it was not enough when compared with the immense amount of tankiness that Trundle Subjugate both takes away from Misty and gives himself. Dolph obviously able to eat up so much damage, and Zero Strikes untouched in the backside chews through the tank line of Chase and Misty with the Blade of the Ruined King, as well as the Ruin's Hurricane, and now Mortal Reminder. Just he is built to take down this front line, and while it is Avatar Flame that is built to take down the back line. Yes, he loses the Guardian Angel, but he gets that crucial positioning to take down the AD carry and mid laner of the Dark Matter Squad.
Yes, and look at the armor coming in for all of TDMS now. Poppy is sitting on 3 full armor items. That's incredible for this champion. Volibear sitting on 3 armor items as well. Orianna even sitting on a Zanya's. Everyone is stacking armor at this point in the game. They know how important it is to just deny the main sources of damage, which are 0-2 and Avatar for this squad. But that means UGFL has a little bit of a chance to bring this one back, completing the Luden's Echo, and has 1 rod under his belt. Even with those Sork shoes, provides a little bit of damage, but Drake spawning in 30 seconds. This is soul for TDMS if they can secure it.
This is a massive fight, and as much as the Baron was a huge turn for TG Ezreal, this is the fight that I think could determine the game. Death timers are so long at this point, and it could be Soul going over to what you already mentioned is incredibly stacked armor. The Soul being able to amplify those stats would feel like it is just shutting TG Ezreal out of the game. Dragon spawning in 13 seconds, and now Chase has secured mid lane priority for Dark Matter Squad. They have the option to rotate into this and give over the dragon if they want to try and break the base, but it doesn't look like that's what they're going for, as We're fishing for the engage. Dolph doesn't have anything yet. Avatar Flame going to be caught clearing a ward. Goes down to below half health.
Oh, what a shot there from Jin. Stormbringer's in. They both have flash. It's just who can secure the dragon. It's only going to be this jungler now. Steel Assault is the only one left in the pit. Misty got so low. Just secure it, man. They get it. They are the ones to stop the soul, but now how's the fight going to turn out? 0-2. It's 80 carry on 80 carry. Jin wins that 1v1. UGL doesn't land the life binding. That means that the rest of the squad has to get away. Deadly first, not going to land. Dolph's going to dodge it again with that engage on the rest of the squad. But he's left 1v3. Not going to win it this time around. Chase tackles one. Not able to pick up the kill. And it's an absolute dominating Drake secure. But at the end of the day, when your squad loses everything, it may not be worth UGL going to be caught out as well. And it's only Steel Assault, the man who secured the Drake for his team. He's the only one standing left alive to try to defend the base of a TGE. This may just be it.
And you stop the dragon, you stop the dragon's soul, you manage to get it for yourself, but you give up your base in the process. Avatar Flame extending way too far for that ward, gets chunked out, gets taken down before he can have any impact on the fight, and he gives over what I want to call the tempo of the game to Dark Matter Squad, because now, as much as they do need the next dragon to secure themselves the soul and now deny it from TG Ezreal, they have themselves inherent pressure for the next 3 minutes.
Now that mid inhib going down is so important. Ever important for map pressure, vision control, anything at this point can be the difference as Avatar Flame tries to take a 1v1. Ignite gonna tick down, but not gonna kill off Misty. He'll be doing just fine for himself. That's ult and ignite down for Avatar. That's not the end of the world, but certainly not something you want to be burning just like that. But yeah, mid inhib being down provides so much control over vision, over map state. Any pick of this game could just be the end. You can see that one blue ward right near the inhib may just be the TP end here call, whoever has it available.
Yeah, and I mean, we'd expect Chase to be able to pick that up, maybe even cutting waves if it does come down to that. But right now, it's really up to flanks, and it looks like we're itching for a fight on the side of Dark Matter Squad. They want to close this out. They want to find a fight that will end the game, because with the base broken, it is their time.
Yeah, and Dark Matter need to find something or anything, and they could probably just end the game off of that. But you can see TGE are still ready to pull the trigger, even sending the Ash Arrow maybe potentially a little early on that fight. And you can see the pings coming in. Baron is spawning in 60 seconds. Both these squads are chomping at the bit to win this game number 3. Game number 1, a 43-minute thriller. Game number 2, shutout, but in less than 30 minutes. And UGFL steal that one away?
Yeah, you got that.
Nice.
That was that's not a game-defining moment. It's just a hey, nice job, dude. I'm pretty happy that he's got that. But in the meantime, while that blue buff steal was going down, I want to bring our attention to this Yone, because we've touched on it multiple times. Yone, the real win condition for TG Ezreal. He has that Guardian Angel that swung the Baron fight for them back up again. The next team fight, they're going to have to deal with Yone ×2 for the side of Dark Matter Squad before they can call any team fight a win. Because of his ability to output so much damage, they've got to be really careful. Everything whiffs.
Yeah, binding. I mean, arrow lands on the Chase, but that's certainly not the target they were looking for. Maybe a little miscommunication between the CC layering there between the two bot laners, and costs them a little bit of cooldown, but arrow is certainly on a relatively low cooldown at this point. As you can see that TGE are the ones to control River for now. Last Drake spawning in less than a minute. Baron already available, and now the dance has begun. Which objective do we go for? Do we trade one for the other? What is the call? It is all about macro from these squads, or it may just be a micro mistake from the AD carry that ends the game. Dolph trying to sacrifice himself for the team. If you only lose one, it may not be the end. Dolph certainly going to go down. He goes down now. Dr. Nasus is godlike on the Jhin, 11-4, plus a 700 gold bounty, but you give away the soul 40 minutes in That's not good. 0 out of summoners. No way for them to fight. They're going to look for the trade.
Yeah, they might be able to trade the Baron here, and that's something that TG Ezreal are going to have to respect, especially if it's started relatively soon. But it's not only a micro mistake, but a macro mistake that costs TG Ezreal that pick. We saw Avatar showing in the top side, and Dark Matter knew that they just had to start a single fight here, and now it might be Avatar showing again in the wrong position. Gonna need to use Fate Seal to get over the wall.
And he has the GA available, so if he goes down now, it's not the end of the world. Misty using the Stormbringer over the wall, trying to find one, but the trade has already begun. Soul is being traded for Baron. This is definitely the most important macro call of the game. If you can trade it, it may be worth. But
Avatar
everyone
needs to buy time.
is heading over. Arrow lands just to try to keep the team away. Chase is on the front line. He's going to knock back the front line. They need to burn this one down. If they don't get it, it's doom. And it may just be the end of the game. They'll secure the Baron, but they won't secure the win, as both of these teams will look for the end. There's no way that TGE are able to defend this one out. But it is TDMS that TP onto the side lane, and everyone else is storming down mid. 2 members dead. Chase is coming to join them. It's 3v5 to try to defend the base.
They have the Baron, but they're starting a play!
They find one. Yo-Yo Bro goes down. Maybe Dolph can frontline enough. The GA's available for this mid laner. Avatar Flame on the Yone. Ticking down. Dolph's still alive. Has a little bit of HP to work with, but the inhib's going to go down. One more auto from Jin will do it. There it goes. Inhib gone once again. Baron still in the hands of TGE. The game is not over yet. They live to fight once again another day.
And the Baron going the way of TGE is exactly what keeps them in the game there. If they don't have those minions that are buffed up and ready to party, they do not get to live there. The fact that TGE start a fight and get away with it there is absolutely insane. The pick onto Yo-Yo Bros so fast that there was no response. And after that, they get to just lose their inhibitor, which honestly feels probably the best situation for TG Ezreal at this point.
Yeah, man, that's gotta be, cross your fingers, say your prayers kind of moment, because I was thinking the game was gonna be over. I thought Chase was gonna TP into mid lane and just force the problem onto the Nexus, but they decide to pressure the side lanes. They get inhib, they get one side lane turret as well. That bot lane tier 2 goes down in the end. And 43 minutes into this one, neither team able to put the final nail into the coffin just quite yet. 0-2. Avatar Flame desperately trying to get any sort of map pressure. Elder spawning in 3.5 minutes, Baron spawning in 4. The game may be over before we get there, but if both of those objectives are up, that's certainly going to be the end of this one. Nearly 47 minutes at that point into this one.
And we've got to see an objective-focused game here. It has been all about these Barons. The Dragons, such a high priority in this series that at this point, it is just the time ticking down until we see one of these objectives. The chance of a missed position has got to be so low. Zero Strike, he is way behind everyone else on his team. He does not want to be the reason that they lose this game, and side lanes are pushed out. We're just ARAMing it until we find what looks like a decent position. Misty sitting on the flank. He's just looking for the go button.
You can tell both of these teams are so uncomfortable with the positions that they're sitting in. You don't like to see the Baron on TGE, but you don't like to see your base in shambles. When TDMS have been putting on that pressure, you can tell everyone's just resorting to mid lane at this point.
Now with Baron expired, TGE, they can't extend this far anymore. If they get picked, that's it. And we see the resets coming in. They've picked themselves up some gold and hopefully some pots, because any fight that happens next is going to be game ending. Is what I've been thinking for a while, I guess. I think that's more of a philosophical thought at this point, but the tension is in the air. I'm bouncing again, and I gotta stop.
Yeah, the tension in my room, I'm not sure about yours. Typically, maybe we'd be in the same room, but in my room, the tension is thick. I could cut it with a knife. The air is like pudding at this point, and every second that passes in this game, every binding that lands, every deadly flourish that's thrown makes that air thicker and thicker, and it becomes harder to breathe for both of these teams. 45 minutes in a best of 3. No, this isn't finals. No, this isn't playoffs. But the mentals are so high strung. Everyone trying to find their way to win this game. And with Elder spawning in 90, Baron spawning in 120, you can tell both these teams trying to jockey for position, as TGE are the first ones, I believe, to take control, as they should have taken their last backs before this Elder spawns.
Yeah, right now, just 1 minute, 60 seconds, 60 odd seconds is what I'll call it, left here, but we might have found Misty in the topside jungle. Going to be caught out, cancels his recall, and is going to have to get away. Base steal!
He's not going to get out of this one. There's no way. The jungler for TDMS, Team Dark Matter, is not going to have a smite for the next minute. Elder up in 40, Baron up just after this jungler spawns. Of course, no TP available, so if they decide to burn this one down, Elder almost certainly is theirs. They may just decide to play around vision. They may not even opt to call for the Baron at all. We'll see the game plan here from TGE as it spawns in under 20 seconds now for this squad. And it's a desperation approach from TDMS.
You've got to imagine that TGE get this dragon. It feels futile. Misty caught out in zero vision. It was just a lucky guess, honestly, from Team Dark Matter that they managed to get that pick, and Misty canceling the recall, didn't know that he wasn't spotted, had to try and get out of there, and now it may cost Elder Drake just that odd pathing. Chase is looking for the engage, but I'm not sure if he can find it. They're going to be able to knock at least one person out, but he has the way back in with the soul unbound. Very nice play.
This is it. Dole flashes in, trying to find the engage for the squad. Where's the shockwave? Not used yet. Arrow lands onto one. There's the shockwave, but it's not going to be enough yet. Chase taken down. Avatar Flame finds one. That's desperation. You can only imagine the mentals are being broken here on the side of TDMS. Avatar Flame opts to go back in, goes right back out to the soul unbound. Drake at about 10,000 HP.
It's a 50-50.
Here does not have flash, but has the ultimate. If you use it now, there's no way to secure the Baron if you're forced away. Cleverly does not use it just quite yet. Hit by a binding. Lux ultimate, they decide to go in, but 0-2 still on the back line. Hasn't been touched quite yet. Gonna use the work, try to get away. Is he stunned up? Is he gonna die? One more chomp may do it, but he's being kited away. Misty has the shield. Doesn't get it in time. Avatar Flame gets the double kill, and it's all up to Dr. Nasus to be the hero. Not even sure if they want to secure the Elder. They're just going to run it down mid. TGE looking to end the game right now.
Yeah, the call to turn off the dragon there could be the call that wins them the game. They're pushing down the mid lane. They know that they can turn back to that dragon as soon as the spawns come in, but right now UGFL, his only job is to stall. Can he do it for long enough? Captive audience just barely missing at the end there. He needs to stop the back from Jhin. Doesn't want to cost it to cost him his life, though.
Oh, what a play. They're going to get the inhib, but they secure enough time for the Drake to be the recall here. Dolph and I believe one more member are on the Drake. No, it is just Dolph from now. The rest of the crew arriving. UGFL at about 3rd HP. This game is not over. Both squads still approaching this Drake for the 3rd time. 6k on it. Misty's dead. No smite available. It's all up to Chase. Can anyone steal it away? Ash gets the secure. Zero's the hero for the team. But can they make the play on the back end? No. Chase flashes over the wall, but with Elder in hand, it almost guarantees the Baron is theirs, and double legendary buffs are almost insurmountable at this point in the game.
Now the call is to send UGFL back to base to clear out those minions that are peskily knocking at the door, but Zero Strike has the percent HP damage to be able to take this down. Misty, he knows he needs to secure this, but I'm not sure that he can get there through the Elder Dragon. He's going to decide that he needs to turn off and weather the storm. Can Dark Matter squad, off the back of this objective, survive for the next 3 minutes?
It's all about wave clear Now, Dia, can they get these Oriana balls and the Jin dancing grenades to clear these minions? The only problem now is the supers in mid lane. Yes, you have both your sidewave shove. That buys you a little bit of time, but the supers will be flooding the gates. TGE, if they find an Ash Arrow, if they find a Lux Binding, it may just be it before you even realize.
And so much fish for engage is available for TG Ezreal that every second you've got to be worried from Dark Matter squad. The fact that you mentioned the binding on such a low cooldown, Steel Assault has his pillar to catch anyone out of position, and Dolph has shown the willingness to flash forward. This is a game that could be over on a dime here. Steel Assault pushing into the jungle here, looking for a fight. Doesn't want to take too much damage, as they should be able to push down the top wave as the super minions are charging into the mid lane.
Complete and utter map control now for TGE. If TDMS, Team Dark Matter, get out of this one, it would be a damn miracle for this squad. They would have to buy lottery tickets tonight. There should be no way that they get out of this one. Arrow misses. That's one cooldown ability that they will not have for the ensuing fight, or at least map pressure. One member goes in, finds a 3-man ultimate, and that may just be it. They finally execute on the Nasus. Misty's trying to kite back for his team, but Dolph is too tanky, and everyone's low, but the executes are coming in. Triple kill for Zero. He finds it, he goes down in the end, but the Elder is just too strong, and all 5 members are taken out. And what a game and what a series it was. But TGE, even on a basis of kills game, they find their way onto the objectives, they find their way onto the Nexus, and they win game number 3 almost an hour in.
And good God, there was no more perfect game to close the series than that. Dark Matter squad versus TG Ezreal was absolutely insane the whole way through. These comps, I felt like they were clashing constantly, and it was off the back of, yes, mispositions here, mispositions there, but as we got later and later into the game, as we talked about that tension starting to fill the air, both teams clammed right up, and we saw those mispositions become less and less frequent, and really beautiful setup. Team fighting from both TG Ezreal and Dark Matter squad ends up going in the favor of TG Ezreal.
And what a series it was, Theatrica. A 3-game series. Only one of them was less than 30 minutes long. A 50-minute thriller in game number 3. I think the best fitting conclusion that we could have seen at the end of the day. It was Avatar Flame that made the difference for this squad on the Yone. 16, 7, and 12. What a performance.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to pump him up too big because he showed up when it mattered, but I want to see more Fate Seals landing in the mid game.
True. That is true.
I was certainly sweating for TG Ezreal several times, and sort of the unsung hero here, or heroes for TG Ezreal as well, are that bot lane combo. UGFL and Zero Strikes, out of what we had mentioned was, or seemed like, a losing lane in the mid game, started to turn it around, and the itemization from Zero Strikes to be able to burn down the front line and almost eliminate Misty and Chase from contention in terms of relevancy towards those later game fights was Zero Strikes and UGFL being able to keep Dr. Nasus, Zygomatic, Chase, and Misty all at bay with the separate components of their kits.
Yeah, what a crazy ending to this game, and even UGFL coming in huge in the damage charts, the only AP member really of his team, building the Rabadons, the Ludens, the Sork Boots, just to make sure he's doing the damage for his team. And I could not have seen this series going this long, and I'm super excited to see how the rest of this group plays out. Frejlord and Style Esports. And I guess any final thoughts? I'm kind of speechless at how this series went on, but it's only an inkling of what's to come in the rest of this group.
I think that my final thoughts are going to be words of encouragement, because going into this game, one of the statements that I made was that Dark Matter squad needed to adapt or die, because it did feel like they were really overextending consistently in games 1 and 2, and it was what cost them game 2 and ultimately took them to that game 3 that ended the series. But I want to say that in game 3, I did feel like they adapted. Yes, it was mid-game, and yes, they did still lose, but this was a team that showed signs of that greatness that we talked about, the ability to adapt to the opposition. TG Ezreal, they found the fights on the day, and they had really nice macro, but the ability for Dark Squad to adapt, or Dark Matter Squad to adapt to this, is something that I think can be a shining light for them as they continue to fight this group.
Absolutely, and if you want to see these two teams duke it out in future battles, make sure to stay tuned to Style Esports. They've got action coming at you almost every day of the week in Frejlord group and beyond. Make sure to stick around for that one. But for the last time on the desk, I've been Necrox, joining me, Diatripa. Make sure, again, to stay tuned to Style. But other than that, have a good night and take a good one. I'll see you soon.